Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and enjoy this fanfic part 1. Now let's start the fanfic. Iruka chuckled with his teeth showing and his eyes closed, while his hand was ruffling the little Naruto's hair. Naruto, you know you should watch what you eat, right? It might prove disadvantageous for you in the long run. The blonde fresh genin waved the comment away with a shake of his hand and started chomping down the ramen, making Iruka believe he would eat the bowl too, almost. After he finished one bowl, the little guy winked at his teacher. You know, you say those things every day, Iruka-sensei, but today, you sound different. Who are you? Waving his hands frantically, Iruka smiled and nervously started uttering, "Don't be ridiculous, Naruto." It's me. Naruto snorted loudly. I'm a genin now, you know. You can't fool a genin from Konoha that easily. Release your henge. Really? To be honest, not even a Junin would be able to see through me with this ability. The fake Iruka stated seriously. But then, I'm trying to imitate the one person you know the best. I figured I wouldn't be good enough to fool myself. Tsuki, the owner of the ramen shop, had his back turned towards the duo and couldn't hear anything they were talking about over the sounds of boiling water. So, when he turned around, he was completely stupefied to see both Naruto and Iruka gone. Damn it. Not you too, Iruka. You two had better pay up next time I see you. Came the old man's yell a second later. Ayame. Where are you? Aerial perspective. Prologue. Where are we? Who are you? What are you going to do? Fake Iruka-sensei. Calm down, you little brat. Damn, I never knew it was this noisy. The Chunin muttered as he was dragging Naruto with him. Don't worry, I'm on your side. Naruto roughly pushed the older man's hand away from his sleeve and glared up at him. What makes you think I believe you? He yelled again. Iruka glared right back and then grinned a second later. Very well, Naruto. What happened next astounded Naruto greatly. Iruka-sensei slowly but surely changed into someone else. Someone who looked a lot like his idol, the Yondaime Hokage. What? Where before the Konoha Chunin Yumino Iruka stood, now a man with a black cloak with dark red flames on the ends of the sleeves and the cloak itself was standing. I'm you, about 30 years from now. A bit more, but who the hell cares? I came to warn you, against orders from my comrades. Me. You're me. That's impossible. I have comrades. Wait. You're lying. You can't be me. Who do you think you're fooling? The great Uzumaki Naruto. Dream on, me wannabe. The little Naruto laughed as he pointed at the taller Naruto. You should have tried this in the morning, mister. The taller man actually chuckled at that, but sighed before he started talking again. I'm doing something that has never been done before. I truly am from the future. Right now, I've brought you back to my time. I currently enjoy the rank Nadaime Uzukage. I am 48 years old, but still look like I'm 23. Ah, what's an Uzukage? It means I am the leader of Whirlpool Country, Naruto. Ha, that proves it. A future me would definitely become Hokage. Leader and protector of Konoha. You're a fraud. I can see right through you. Naruto shouted as he, again, rudely pointed his finger in the future Naruto's face. Well, you don't have to believe me. You just have to listen to me. The older one stated as he pushed the offending index finger away. Naruto, I'm going to train you, make you stronger so you can make a difference. The future right now isn't as bright as we want it to be. Your real problems start when the Kyuubi inside of you is no longer watching your back and front. You know about the Kyuubi. Who are you? Future Naruto sighed. I told you. I am you 36 years from now. I have mastered many things no shinobi has ever mastered. Time traveling is one of those. I told you. I don't believe you. I'm just going to call you fake me. Or fake Naruto. There's only one Naruto-sama. And that's me. He pointed his finger against his own chest. You can try as hard as you want, but you won't be me. The Uzukage shrugged. I guess you're right, I'm not you. But then, you will be me, someday. I simply was you. How about some proof, then? I know for a fact that you only have 3 orange jumpsuits and that you have to wash them every day. I also know you're completely in love with Haruno Sakura. I know you want to have friends, but no one wants to be friends with you. I know you've cried yesterday night, when Mizuki attacked you and Iruka-sensei. Before that, you haven't cried since you were 5 years old. A sigh, before he decided to continue. I know you want to beat Uchiha Sasuke so you can show the entire academy that you're not a dead last. And the most important thing, I know what happens to you every single night. At that, the younger Naruto's eyes widened. You can't. Future Naruto nodded his head sympathetically. I know, Naruto, it's a side effect of the Shiki Fuin being used on you. But, I've created a seal to speed up the process. Little Naruto frowned, not understanding at all. Every night, for a full hour, you go through excruciating pain, starting from your stomach, your seal, and ending with your brain, the one thing that controls your entire body. What's actually happening is a chakra collision. Your chakra, the Kyuubi's chakra and the Shiki Fuin's chakra left on the seal on your stomach by the Yondaime Hokage. I have no idea what you're talking about, mister. But do you mind just taking me back home? You're creepy. A chuckle came as response. That's what I would say too, yeah. But I'm telling you the truth. You have to believe me. If you do, then maybe, we can save a lot of shinobi and a lot of villages. Your real Genin exam starts tomorrow, right? With Hitaki Kakashi as your Junin instructor. PF, everyone knows that already. Don't think you can convince me just like that. From the future, yeah right. Man, I was a real piece of work back in my younger days. The older blonde simply shook his head with a grin plastered on his face. We're going to train for 4 months. After that, my time will be up and all will be left in your hands. 4 months. Are you crazy? I'm a busy guy, I'm a genin now. I'm going to have missions. No worries, I'll teleport you back just in time for your genin examination. I want to make sure you don't need any training anymore before you go back. So, where are you taking me now, then? Fukasaku, we'll start with the easiest training. 4 months later. Namikaze-sensei, how come you are the leader of Whirlpool and not Leaf? Future Naruto slightly dropped his head. Because Konoha was destroyed. I want you to make sure that doesn't happen. Can you do that? The younger blonde smiled sadly. I will. I'll make sure we're going to have a better future. With this, he took a look at his own hands. I'll destroy everyone. Back at the present, I have with me 2 bells. These bells are your objective. Capture these and you're genin straight away. You have until sunset. If you have no bell, you're going back to the academy and can try again next year. Understood. But there are only 2 bells, sensei. The pink-haired 13-year-old genin asked. The copy ninja tilted his head and grinned behind his mask. Yup. There are. Very observant of you, Haruno Sakura. The Uchiha Avenger standing next to her, snorted. So one of us will fail, anyway. It definitely won't be me. Sasuke thought as he quickly hid himself in the bushes. Sakura followed suit, while Naruto was frowning at the famous Hitaki Kakashi. I wish future me had told me what this test was about, damn it. You're a bit off, Uzumaki Naruto-kun. Kakashi let out as he stared at the short genin. The only thing that's a bit off is your hairdo. Naruto shouted. I'm not allowed to reveal too much, so I might as well sit this one out until I know what to do with this weird guy. Kakashi double-checked his vision as he saw Naruto hide as well. Strange. I expected him to rush at me immediately. Perhaps he's not the hothead Hokage-sama told me he was, and then, his mind realized another thing. His clothes, they were special, weren't they? The copy ninja's eye suddenly widened. I can't sense Naruto. Sasuke and Sakura are easy to locate, but, how strange. Doesn't matter. I guess I'll have to smell him out. The Junin thought as he focused chakra to his nose. Ah, there he is. Tilting his head back down as to indicate he was not worried about anything, he pulled out a book from one of his many pockets and started reading. You know, if you don't come at me with intent to kill, you won't get these bells. He spoke out loud as he chuckled strangely at a picture in the book he was reading. Half a mile away from Kakashi's position, Naruto wasn't even thinking about the test, but more about what his future self had told him. Certain events scared him, but he promised he would do anything in his might to prevent all of them. He had just returned from the future 3 hours ago and watched his future self die right in front of his eyes. At the same time, future Naruto's last warning came to mind. This is what happens when you time travel too much, Naruto, your body just can't handle the space. I'll find a way to perfect it, Namikaze-sensei, Naruto thought to himself. I'll find a way to perfect everything. Turning his attention back to his current objective, Naruto decided to get closer to his Junin instructor again, only to see Sasuke buried in the ground, with just his head sticking out. Now that's funny. Naruto chuckled inwardly. All of a sudden, a female scream came from his right and Naruto dashed towards the location in awesome speed. That was Sakura-chan. Observing from a bit further away, a certain eye narrowed. That's too fast. Hokage-sama hasn't told me Naruto was that quick, Kakashi thought as he followed after Naruto. Landing on the ground before an unconscious Sakura, Naruto sighed in relief. No harm comes to Sakura-chan, he declared in thoughts. She was caught in genjutsu, he murmured, only to widen his own eyes at the sudden presence of his new teacher behind him. Kakashi-sensei. Question, the Sharingan wielder started. How come you know a genjutsu was used on her? Lucky guess. Naruto nervously uttered. Lesson 3. Taijutsu. The blonde gritted his teeth as he was smashed into a tree by the kick he received in the stomach. He quickly jumped up and looked around, only to find out Kakashi was gone. Quick recovery time, Naruto. You're not too shabby, came a voice from all around him. He's better than I thought. If I can beat Kakashi, I get a bell, but, Namikaze-sensei told me I would be in a team with Sasuke and Sakura-chan. Besides that, I'm a long way from beating Kakashi if I can't use my kinjutsu, he thought to himself. I'll have to continue my training after this. Kakashi, up in the trees, smiled to himself as Naruto went into hiding again. He's supposed to be looking for me, but he won't stop hiding. Very unlike the character that was described to me. If one could be provoked, it would have been you, Naruto. What doesn't make sense here? Sasuke was panting as he had finally managed to get himself out of the ground. Damn that Kakashi, he's gonna pay for this. He calmed down and took a look at his surroundings. Sakura and that Dobi haven't done anything yet, but then again, even if they do, they'll achieve completely nothing. It's up to me to finish this. Ah, you're up and about again, Sasuke. Came the lazy voice of his future Junin instructor. I almost forgot about you. Kaden. Gukaku no Jutsu. The Uchiha breathed out, but the copy nin easily sidestepped the fireball. This time, his hands fell on his knees after using the technique. Out of chakra, Sasuke. You shouldn't pour too much chakra in a technique that's bound to miss your opponent. If anything, you should have used too little and make it into a diversion. Shut up, the raven-haired boy shouted out. Just watch, he said as he performed hand seals again. This time, Kakashi appeared behind him and had the Uchiha's right hand locked in his left. That would have been lights out, Sasuke. You definitely need control, but you sure don't lack motivation to hurt me. He grinned. His temper is quite worrisome. Yo, sensei, let go of him. Kakashi glanced sideways to see 5 Narutos running towards him. Kage Bunshin, impressive for a genin, but it won't work. The gray-haired veteran slammed all 5 shadow clones down in the blink of an eye, before he realized none of them were the real Naruto. Many kunai and shuriken came flying towards him as soon as he did. Kage shuriken and Kage kunai. I didn't know he could do that, the copycat wondered as he vanished and appeared a few meters to the right, watching the many kunai and shuriken make impacts on the ground he stood before. I can't sense him, I can only smell him and Kakashi's eye narrowed. This is impossible for a genin. I should be able to hear his movements. This means I have to rely on my nose to locate Naruto. A short distance away, one Haruno Sakura awakened. Where am I? We're on a training ground. I don't know which one this is. Came an answer from above. The pink-haired girl looked up to see Naruto standing on a tree branch. I don't know what to do, Sakura-chan. Kakashi-sensei is a lot stronger than us. Naruto, leave me alone. Where is Sasuke-kun? Was the immediate and harsh reply out of the pinkhead's mouth. The blonde knucklehead sighed and pointed his finger in a direction in front of him. Sasuke's out of chakra. He can't do anything right now. Shut up, Naruto. Sasuke-kun can always do something. He's the number one in our class, you idiot. Naruto looked dumbfounded as Sakura ran in Sasuke's direction. Ah, okay. Naruto scratched the back of his head. I never knew Sakura had so little chakra in her, he wondered out loud. Ah, Sakura. Back in the land of the living. How was your little nightmare? Kakashi asked as he flipped a page. Behind him, Sasuke was panting. The Junin was humiliating Sasuke even further by turning his back towards him. Perhaps you have a bit more fight in you than Sasuke has. That's impossible. No one has more fight in him than Sasuke-kun has. Sakura yelled. I don't think I have to stop reading for this, Kakashi deadpanned. Come at me, Sakura. Sakura rushed forward, making Kakashi frown. How sloppy. She runs so slowly, holds no weapon in her hands, is not gathering any chakra or making any hand seals, and she's so emotional. Hearing movement from behind as well, Kakashi vanished just in time to make Sakura collapse right into Sasuke, who was just about to attack the Junin from behind. Ah, Sasuke-kun. I'm sorry. Get off of me. Sasuke roughly pushed Sakura off of him. Stay out of this, you're way too weak. Taking one step away from Sakura, Sasuke started panting again. Shit. Why am I so tired? Sasuke-kun, are you alright? Sakura rose from the ground and hesitantly approached the Uchiha. Sasuke-kun. Sasuke-tem. Both Sakura and Sasuke turned their heads to see Naruto behind them. You don't look so good. He exclaimed loudly. Be quiet, you doby. I haven't seen you try anything yet. The Uchiha reacted. Naruto shrugged. I will, I guess. As if, Naruto, if Sasuke-kun won't succeed, you won't either. Kakashi frowned as he saw the trio standing together. Somehow, they look funny when they stand close to each other like that. Now then, I wonder how Naruto will fight me. His speed and stealth is on a very high level. And then, his eye widened. That's impossible. When did he? Naruto grinned to himself. You said anything goes, Kakashi-sensei. You were too busy watching Sakura and Sasuke to notice me right next to you. Right next to me? The copy nin wondered. How? In the blonde's right hand, were two bells dangling. I'm a genin now, straight away. I'm giving this other bell to both Sakura and Sasuke, so they both can be in my team. He decided. Time to train your new team, sensei. Sasuke and Sakura both looked like dead fish as they were staring at the bells in Naruto's hands. Hokage-sama. The old man averted his gaze from the papers on his desk to the former Anbu captain in front of him. What is it, Kakashi? I have a report on my genin examination. Haruno Sakura, Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke have all passed. Within the hour. He spoke with definite suspicion in his voice. Something strange happened. I regret to inform you that I did not have my Sharingan activated to know what actually and exactly happened. Ah, elaborate further, Kakashi. The third ordered as he rose from his seat. I can tell you're a bit upset. This must be something serious. Kakashi bowed shortly. Haruno Sakura has performed below average, but holds promise if guided properly. Uchiha Sasuke is above the average genin already, although he needs to be set straight in certain cases. Uzumaki Naruto, however, he has shown almost nothing but more than the other two. The third chuckled. Almost nothing. So Sakura and Sasuke are less than almost nothing. Hokage-sama. Naruto's strong. Stronger than you've told me. Of course he is. He surpasses every opinion, that's just what he does. Remember that, Kakashi. Kakashi stared hard at the Sandaime, only to sigh. Understood, Hokage-sama. If anything, I'm sure I'll be enjoying teaching this team. Kurenai-sensei. Kurenai-sensei? Who the hell is Kurenai-sensei, anyway? Naruto muttered to himself as he was walking through the streets of the village. Namikaze-sensei told me to find her as soon as I could, but, couldn't he have told me what she looked like? Oi, if it isn't Naruto, what brings you out here so late? Naruto looked up from the ground and his pondering to see Shikamaru and an old guy looking like the former. Shikamaru. Ah, this is my father. Shikamaru lazily explained as he saw Naruto gaze at the older man. He's drunk, obviously. My mother forced me to drag him back home. Managed to make me deaf on one side in the process. He said as he rubbed his right ear. So, you haven't answered the question, Naruto. Huh, what question? The younger Nara slapped his forehead. As troublesome as always, huh, Naruto. What are you doing out so late? I already told you my reasons. Ah, Naruto seemed in deep thought. I'm looking for this woman named Kurenai-sensei. Maybe you can help me. The black-haired genius Ganab shook his head. The name sounds familiar, but, I can't help you. You're looking for Kurenai. The older Nara suddenly slurred. Haha, a young brat like you, looking for the cutest woman of Konoha. Hey, you said mom was the cutest. Shikamaru suddenly interjected. I say that when she's around, son. Shikaku immediately reacted. But Kurenai, huh, you might find her at a training ground this time around. Heard she was training a fresh Genin team this year. Shikamaru frowned. Ah, that's right. She's the Junin instructor of Kiba and the two silent ones of our class. Silent ones? Naruto asked. Who are they? Hyuga Hinata and Aburame Shino, obviously. Sheesh, Naruto, you never pay attention, do you? He then started dragging his father again. See you around, you bothersome guy. The shadow user half yelled over his shoulder. Naruto simply stared. He really is a strange guy, that Shikamaru. What's wrong, Hinata? Someone's approaching us, Kurenai-sensei. But, this person doesn't seem to be having any chakra. My bugs tell me they are, confused. Yuahi Kurenai tried to sense any shinobi or villager in the area, but found none. Even a villager lets out some chakra presence. Hinata, you can see him. The blue-haired girl nodded her head as she had her Byakugan activated. Why yes. The black-haired Junin frowned at Hinata's reaction. A relative, maybe. Her father, perhaps. I can smell him. It's that dead last, Naruto. I can recognize that horrible smell anytime, anywhere. Kiba shouted, as always. Let's continue, already. That guy's worth nothing, anyway. Peculiar. Before, my bugs always seemed agitated whenever Naruto-san is around. But now, he doesn't seem to have a chakra presence. What has happened to him? Shino wondered and turned to his instructor. Can you sense him, Kurenai-sensei? Che, it's not like it matters, Shino. That guy had so little chakra, having nothing is just about equal. The Inuzuka chuckled at his own joke. We've wasted enough time talking about him already. Something's wrong, Kiba. Kurenai suddenly and very seriously stated. To emit no chakra at all, you have to be either dead or extremely skilled. As in, Junin level. Shino's eyes narrowed behind his glasses. I see. He seems to be. Shino, Kiba and Kurenai turned to the stuttering Hinata, who was also blushing a bit. He seems to be calling your name, Kurenai-sensei. That's odd, I've never talked to Uzumaki Naruto before. Are you sure he's not looking for any of you three? Kurenai asked. Hey, that idiot has no friends, so he automatically has no one to look for, Kurenai-sensei. Kiba laughed. I mean, no one ever talks to him. He always talks to everyone, but we all just ignore his annoying sounds. Kiba. Kurenai sternly started. You're saying he has no friends and are laughing about it? That's harsh. And then, all of a sudden, Naruto was standing behind Hinata, whose eyes widened even further. She deactivated her Byakugan and turned around swiftly to see Naruto grin at her. Yo, Hinata, can you help me find Kurenai-sensei? Kurenai's eyes narrowed dangerously. Still no signs of any chakra, but that speed was too fast for a genin. She then took a look at his clothes. Completely black. Black gloves, black belt, black t-shirt, black pants, black sandals, black Hitai-8, and a black symbol on his belt. The symbol meant, Uzumaki. I am Yuahi Kurenai. You must be Uzumaki Naruto. Can I help you? Kurenai started, still trying to figure out why she couldn't sense him when he was just standing in front of her. Yes. The blonde genin bowed. I must learn how to use and defend against genjutsu. It is my weakness. He was still bowing when Kurenai nodded her head and a gentle smile appeared on her face. Your weakness, you say? Kiba started. Man, if I could make a list of your weaknesses, I think I'll be making the thickest book there is. Shino kept silent, while Hinata was fidgeting, obviously feeling uncomfortable. No, Kiba, you must learn from this. Naruto-kun has confirmed his weaknesses and has come to me for aid. It takes guts to confirm your own weaknesses. She then faced Naruto. But I'm afraid I have to disappoint. I have my own team and if I'm not mistaken, Kakashi is your teacher now. He can help you with genjutsu as well. Naruto shook his head instantly. But you're better than him in genjutsu. Please help me. He bowed. The Junin didn't know how to react to the sudden praise. It doesn't happen often that someone tells you you're better than the famous copy ninja. Not often at all. Well, even if that's true, I still won't be able to help you. Hey, man, leave our sensei alone, Naruto. Kiba yelled. She's ours. Naruto gazed at Kiba and then back at Kurenai, remembering what his future self had told him. Some people just won't help you because of what's inside you, Naruto, but just ignore those people. There are more ways than one to get where you want to go. A sudden memory came to mind at the rejection he felt. Namikaze-sensei told him this once. Kurenai held in a cringe as Naruto suddenly glared at her. But it was no anger that he was directing at her. It was more disappointment and blame. Fine. The blonde muttered darkly as he turned away. Why is she so afraid of you? Sasuke had his arms folded over one another and didn't seem to care about his surroundings. Really? Chasing stupid cats and fixing pointless fences, ridiculous. I don't know, so strange, Naruto answered as he stared at the shivering cat in front of them. Kakashi, we've captured the cat. Sasuke suddenly stated. We can go back now. It wasn't a question at all. Naruto shrugged himself away from the cat as Sakura picked her up. Let's go back, she said. Naruto was sitting on a tree branch, reading a book and chuckling occasionally. On the ground, leaning against the same tree, was Sasuke, pretending to be asleep so the girl in front of him, Sakura, wouldn't talk to him. Hey, Kakashi's always late. Thank God I was able to buy this book. Naruto, don't you think you're a bit too young for that book? The blonde shut the book and grinned upwards, right into the face of Kakashi. I have no parents telling what not to do, Kakashi-sensei. That doesn't mean you can do anything you want. He replied as he jumped down and greeted his other two students. Alright, let's head for a mission, shall we? As they were slowly walking through the village, Naruto started listing the techniques he knew and what his future self told him not to use if he could help it. No Fuden techniques, no Maden techniques, no Fuinjutsu, no Sage mode, no Fox mode, no Yukin, no Kinjutsu except for the Kage Bunshin, no over-the-top chakra techniques and, what were those others? Oh yeah, he told me last resorts are last resorts. Trump cards shouldn't ever be used. You have any objection against this? I was planning to give you another D-ranked one, but with you as their sensei, I'm sure you'll be able to do a C rank now. The Hokage's voice came sudden as soon as he heard, C rank. Naruto's eyes widened gleefully as he stared at the old man in front of him. Are you for real, old man? Was therefore his sudden and loud reaction. Naruto. Show some respect. Naruto blinked and just then noticed Iruka was sitting next to the third. He hadn't seen his former teacher for months. Well, the other way around, Iruka hadn't seen Naruto for days. Ah, sorry, Iruka-sensei. Naruto bowed. But seriously, this is awesome. Sasuke smirked. Finally, something better than picking weeds. C rank. Will we be alright? The remaining member of Team 7 thought. I hope Kakashi-sensei knows what he's doing. The mission is simple. Escort a bridge builder back to the wave. There shouldn't be any trouble doing this, and I believe with you there, the client is very lucky. The Hokage said as he looked at Kakashi. Good luck, Team 7. Kakashi-sensei, you guys go on ahead, I need to ask the old man something. Naruto said as his team had already turned for the door. Naruto. Respect. Remember. Came Iruka's voice again. Little brat. Naruto chuckled nervously. Right, Hokage-sama. The Sandaime simply smiled. Can I help you, Naruto? I need help with genjutsu. I've already asked Kurenai-sensei, but she said she has no time. It amazed the third that the blonde genin was actually bowing. I know no one else. I'm surprised you know Kurenai is talented with genjutsu, but I'm even more surprised to see you interested in it. He paused to see no reaction from Naruto. To be very honest, Naruto, you are not the type for genjutsu. Exactly. Naruto's head rose from the bowed position. I'm completely helpless when it's used against me. The third's eyes narrowed a bit. You're awfully bright today, aren't you? You have a point by saying it's your weakness. There are many genjutsu wielders in Konoha, but only few can teach it to others. Besides Kurenai, there are. Naruto and Iruka watched as the third was thinking. 4. Naruto nodded his head, hoping he would get some names now. And indeed, the third granted his wish. 2 of them might be able to work with your special chakra situation. Mitarashi Anko and Azuki Yugo. They're both very busy, so I'll ask if they feel like helping a genin when I see them. You won't look for them, understood? Naruto swallowed nervously at how serious the old man was about this. Yes. Fuden. Rasenshuriken no Jutsu. Holy. He didn't know what to say as he watched his future self perform such a humongous and awesome and, well, everything kinda jutsu. As the technique died down, the Uzukage turned to him and grinned at the unbridled enthusiasm. This is currently one of my weakest Fuden techniques, Naruto. You're in for a wild ride. Oh hell yeah. His scream echoed as both him and the older Naruto were standing in a crate half the size of Konoha. So, if you can time travel like that, why don't you just go back in time and kill the ones responsible for what happened to Konoha? It's not that simple. The people having done this don't know they're going to, in the past. In fact, there are a few who were even forced to do bad things, because others didn't have the power to do it. So good people have done bad things because they didn't know any better. Or even worse, someone outside of even my knowledge threatened to kill precious people. He then hung his head down low. Allow me to give you a few names and a few hints, Naruto. The younger blonde nodded eagerly. Uchiha Madara. He will threaten someone close to you in order for you to do something for him. Something he himself is incapable of because he doesn't have the chakra to do it. I know you're young and most of the things I'm saying probably mean question marks for you, so I've also written down a lot in a blood scroll only able to see for our eyes. Hey, not even a relative can see it. Not that we have any. Naruto nodded, with a frown. He truly didn't understand everything he had just heard, but it was written down, so. Uchiha Sasuke. He is someone who needs help. His eyes are being held in the wrong direction by the people around him. I want you to set him straight. You'll understand once you really get to know him. Uchiha Sasuke. Man, that bastard really is that big of a deal even in your life, this much in the future. That. The little boy whined loudly. There are many more, but these 2 are probably the most bothersome. Be careful whenever you encounter this Uchiha Madara. He narrows his eyes as he looked at the smaller Naruto. The first time you encounter him, he will wear an orange mask. Do not hesitate to kill him. His narrowed eyes also held warning, for a brief moment. Some piece of advice, Naruto. While it is very important to make friends and have comrades, you should know that your enemies will hurt them to hurt you. It might want to make you make less friends, but friends are what give you true power. Through them you gain something that no training will ever give you. He got a frown for that. Faith, Naruto. With your friend's faith, you'll find yourself with power you never knew you had. He then narrowed his eyes. I will call out a few names, and I want you to make them your allies. Remember these names well, Naruto. The chakra amount being channeled through those fingers was ridiculous. This was going through Fukasaku's head as he was watching Naruto show his past version a demonic technique. This will definitely upset Ma. Yukin, Tateru no Yoma. Where before stood a big mountain, now was a pile of massive rocks. Little Naruto fell on his butt as he saw the effect of Namikaze-sensei's technique, the demonic tail whip. Understand, Naruto, there are two styles, the ninpu and the kenpu style. Almost every shinobi out there uses the ninpu style, Naruto. There are dozens upon dozens of techniques under the kenpu style. And believe me, you're going to master all of them. Yukin, however, is a technique only Jinchuriki can master. He grinned at the look on Naruto's face, complete bedazzlement. Here, let me show you the next. Yukin, Matsur no Yoma. Back to present. Yukin techniques and Maden techniques are so impossible. Naruto gritted his teeth as he was walking behind Sakura and Tazuna, he was the rear. And Namikaze-sensei told me not to use those pills before I would meet this person named Senju Tsunade. I'm going to ask the old man as soon as I get back just who the hell that is, then I can continue Namikaze-sensei's training, he inwardly grumbled. Well, at least I've been given Igo Kaiki, but sensei told me about 3 others, but I forgot their names. He shrugged. Are we there yet? He voiced out of the blue. An exclamation mark popped out of nowhere besides Naruto's head as his pink-haired teammate decided to turn to him rapidly and scream out, "Shut up, Naruto. Just keep quiet like you've been the entire time." The blonde moped momentarily, until his senses screamed to him that something was wrong around him. What? Before his eyes, his Junin instructor got ripped to shreds. Hey. Wait a minute, he used Kawarimi. He frowned to himself. How come I could see that? I'm so stupid. That guy was really slow, actually. HMPH. Besides, Namikaze-sensei would have surely told me if Kakashi-sensei would be killed or not, right? Naruto. Pay attention. Sakura screeched, bringing him back to reality. Ah shit. Naruto cursed as he jumped backwards in a speed his assailant couldn't keep up with, so the attack missed by quite a lot. Meanwhile, Sasuke had pinned a chain wielded by the attackers to a tree with a kunai and was actually grinning as he stood in front of Sakura and Tazuna. Finally something interesting. The young Jinchuriki observed the 2 enemies and saw that they attacked with chains and claws, tipped with poison. Both of the enemies were running for Sakura-chan, by the way. Oh, and Tazuna and the bastard, he added as a side note. Oh no, you won't. The blonde yelled as he rushed forward in a speed he hadn't used before. Therefore, he crashed into Kakashi, who was just about to headlock both the demon brothers. Sasuke, Sakura and Tazuna looked shocked to see all 4 of them sprawled on the floor. Being the first to recover from the sudden occurrence, Kakashi held a kunai to both enemies and sighed. It's over. Naruto picked himself up and scratched the back of his head in embarrassment. I'm sorry, sensei. An hour later, Team 7 gained a better look on the mission thanks to the explanation given to them by Tazuna, the bridge builder. Apparently, a rich guy named Getu was going to kill him. That's all Naruto understood from the entire story. Nay, sensei. Can you teach me any Fudan techniques? He yelled loudly. Fudan. The Sharingan wielder thought to himself. Why would he want to learn wind techniques? Also, his thoughts wandered back to how fast he was back in the situation with the demon brothers. He's definitely not what he appears to be. Is this the Kyuubi's doing, perhaps? Is his body adjusting to it, somewhat? I'm sorry, Naruto. I don't know any Fuden Jutsu. The copy nin replied as if he wasn't in thought at all. But I'll be teaching all three of you something far more interesting. He let out cheerfully. Weird cheerfully. And then his demeanor changed. Everybody, duck. I'm sorry, Naruto, for you to witness this. Namikaze-sensei. I thought my limit was 4, but, apparently, it was 3. Such a surprise, a cold voice let out indifferently. Hitaki Kakashi, copycat ninja who wields about 1,000 techniques. I think that might be a bit exaggerated, but I'll test the rumor. Kakashi first checked if his students and client were all alright, before he looked up into the face of one, Momochi Zabuza. What a pleasure. Something clicked in Naruto's head all of a sudden. Remember these names well, Naruto. Naruto remembered his future self telling him. Let's see, the liver, the stomach, the he. Zabuza. Who dares to interrupt me? Zabuza boomed as he looked down to one of Kakashi's students. You brat, you will be the first to fall. The demon of the mist readied himself and Kakashi prepared to intercept when. Where is Haku? Zabuza nearly fell off of his own sword, which was stuck in the 3 he had swung it in. Impossible. This kid, he knows Haku. A Konoha Genin knows Haku. Naruto, be quiet. Leave this one to me. He's far too much for you to handle right now. This will require. His students watched as the copycat revealed his copier. The famous Sharingan, I get to see it, already. Came the cold voice again. Momochi Zabuza and Haku. These two are traveling together and if I'm not mistaken, they can be your first 2 allies outside of Konoha. But remember, do not reveal that you know too much. Naruto's eyes widened. Shit. I shouldn't have yelled out to him. Stay there. Kakashi ordered as he attacked Zabuza, who in turn, countered. Time to stop pretending, right, Namikaze-sensei. Naruto sighed and closed his eyes, while performing a handseal. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. What are you doing, Dobi? His teammate asked, glaring at the sudden appearance of 4 shadow clones, who were surrounding Sasuke, Sakura and Tazuna. His eyes widened as the 4 Kage Bunshin started performing hand seals. What is he up to? Kenpu. Fuinjutsu, Shishi Engine. All 4 the clones yelled out. To Sakura's, Sasuke's and Tazuna's amazement a purple barrier materialized around them. Don't touch it, guys. The real Naruto warned, as he started heading for Kakashi and Zabuza. That thing will burn you to death. Meanwhile, the 4 shadow clones were holding up the barrier. Suddenly, Kakashi appeared beside the real Naruto, staring sternly at him, while also keeping Zabuza in his vision. Listen to what he says, Sakura, Sasuke, Tazuna. This barrier is very dangerous. He then turned to Naruto. You will explain to me how you know this technique after this. I will back you up, Kakashi-sensei. The blonde declared, ignoring Kakashi's request. The famous copy ninja shook his head. No, it's too dangerous. Zabuza will kill you easily. He's Junin level. Leave this to me, Naruto. The young Uzumaki sighed as Kakashi went back in a taijutsu battle with Zabuza. Peculiar and very unlikely. Still, that barrier will keep them completely safe. Kakashi thought as he dodged a swing from Zabuza's blade with ease and retaliated with a swipe from his kunai, which was just as easily avoided. Naruto, the dead last, knows Fuinjutsu. It simply is impossible for a kid his age to know the difficulties. Still, he performed it perfectly. Even I can't do that technique. After a few blows through water clones, Kakashi found himself at the receiving end of a vicious kick from Zabuza, which sent him flying into the water. They had been fighting near a big pool. Shit. This is. Sweden. Suiro no Jutsu. Kakashi got cut from his thoughts as Zabuza finished his assessment. He got himself trapped in a water prison. The famous Hitaki Kakashi, caught in such a mediocre technique. How the mighty has fallen. The demon of the mist gloated. Now, The only way to destroy that annoying barrier is to kill a genin. This will be very hard. Zabuza sarcastically let out and chuckled. Okay, brat, time's up. Before Naruto could even register what was going on, he got cleaved in half from behind. The water clone smirked shortly, though, as the boy he had hit turned out to be a shadow clone. Kage Bunshin again. Such an annoying brat. Interesting, Kakashi. You seem to have at least one good student in your team. The real Zabuza commented. Let's see how he holds up against 10 of my water clones. The real Naruto was easily located by Zabuza and soon he was surrounded by 10 water clones. Hey, watch this. Kenpu. Rengoken. Kusui no Jutsu. What? Both Kakashi and Zabuza looked completely outraged as the water clones all completely dissolved into nothing around Naruto. What the hell did he do? I don't understand, the real Zabuza muttered. What was that technique? Naruto simply chuckled and scratched the back of his head. Boy, it's as if I haven't used any chakra at all. He then turned serious and glared at Zabuza. Here we go. Playtime is over now. Zabuza growled as more water clones emerged from out of the water. His eyes widened, though, as Naruto rushed forward and sliced through all of his water clones with ease. This kid, he's no genin. Such speed. Kakashi was also convinced that Naruto was keeping secrets. Not wanting to be an easy target, Zabuza jumped backwards and quickly performed some hand seals. Suiryuden no Jutsu. With that, Naruto found himself an easy target for the water dragon blast. He got blown into a tree, but was saved from any more attacks as Kakashi had escaped from the water prison. So, it seems he has no damage at all from that attack just now. That's impossible, though. He didn't voice his thoughts. Nice work, Naruto, he said, before he glared at the angry Zabuza. Let me tell you, I won't fall for the same trick twice. What's going on? What kind of technique is this? Sasuke thought as he watched the purple barrier around him. What can you do, Naruto? That dead last knows some interesting techniques. Even though this thing is protecting me, I don't feel super safe. Tazuna muttered as he found the purple barrier a bit creepy. This thing was created by that little kid. Sakura nodded her head. I've never read about something like this. How come Naruto knows this? Could this be a Kekai Genkai of his? Sasuke had been watching the 4 shadow clones in every corner intently. It seems those 4 clones can't move. If they do, this barrier will probably dissolve. If that's true, he had a kunai in his grasp and threw it at one of the clones. Let's see. Sasuke-kun, Sakura yelled, as the clone disappeared as soon as the kunai hit it. And with it, so did the barrier. Ah, I thought so, Sasuke grinned. Sorry, dead last, but I don't need protection. He swallowed nervously and watched the world no longer through purple eyesight. The young raven-haired kid slowly started walking towards Naruto, while Kakashi and Zabuza were still butting heads with one another. Sakura stayed by his side. Ah, I hope this will turn out alright. Don't worry, we'll protect you, Tazuna-san. He gave the pink-haired girl a smile, but not one that reached his eyes. What the hell did you do, bastard? That barrier was there to protect Tazuna. Not far from Tazuna and Sakura, Naruto was glaring daggers at Sasuke. Dobi, what was that technique? He asked and ignored the other's question. Now's not the time, Sasuke. Kakashi-sensei might need our help. Naruto huffed and folded his arms. Geez, destroying my shadow clone like that. He then narrowed his eyes at Sasuke. I'll have to make those shadow clones protect themselves inside the barrier as well. How to do that, though? After having witnessed the power of the Sharingan, for now at least the copying aspects, Team 7 watched how their teacher won the battle. It is over. Not making any move, he was surprised to suddenly see needles slam into him, with a hunter nin appearing beside Zabuza less than a second later. Konoha Shinobi. Kakashi couldn't tell whether the hunter nin was male or female, not by voice or by appearance, as the hunter nin had a mask. I thank you. I've been on the hunt for this criminal for a long time. Kenpu. Baoseiken, Oitsumaru no Jutsu. Naruto performed another technique as he had appeared beside the hunter Nin and Zabuza and had his hand on Zabuza's shoulder. The blonde then turned to the hunter Nin. Did you kill him? He watched the masked shinobi nod his or her head and then sighed. Damn it. I guess that jutsu won't work anyway, then. What did he do? I did sense chakra from that technique, but I see no effects, Haku, the boy behind the mask, surmised. Well, then, I bid you farewell. Kakashi hopped down from the tree branch he was standing on and landed next to Naruto. Very strange, he just left, huh? He mumbled. Naruto, you and I need to. Naruto could barely catch Kakashi as he fell down from chakra exhaustion. Naruto, wake up. Urghtuh. Yayu. That's gross. You're drooling. Huh. Opening his eyes, he saw a big blurry field of pink in front of him. Blinking and squinting them finally gave way to a clear vision. Sakura-chan. Just get up. Naruto. Kakashi-sensei is awake and he wants to talk to all of us now. Hurry up. Don't make Sasuke-kun wait any longer than this. She all but yelled into his ear, before she turned and left him on the floor of a unfamiliar room. Where am I? Naruto asked himself as he rose from the floor and realized he had slept with his clothes on. Let's see, I've encountered Momochi Zabuza, the first ally Namikaze-sensei told me about, but he's an enemy. How can he become my ally? Did Namikaze-sensei screw up or something? Well, he's dead now, anyway. Damn that hunter Nin. After that, we had to carry Kakashi all the way here. This is, oh right. This is Tazuna's place. He didn't have any extra beds or us, so we had to sleep on the floor. Now I remember. I'm always a mess in the morning. Naruto, hurry up. Coming. Well, we have some good news and some bad news. I'll start with the good. Kakashi started as he watched his 3 students before him. We're going to be training. A lot and hard. Prepare yourselves. Bad news, I'm not completely sure, but Zabuza might still be alive. Kakashi watched as Naruto's eyes widened. Is that true? I don't understand his reaction, the gray-haired Junin thought as he nodded. Let's see about that, Naruto thought as he closed his eyes. It was a technique taught to him by his future self, the Baoseiken, Oitsumaru no Jutsu. He had used it on Zabuza just before the hunter Nin took him away. A tracking technique passed down to him by a guy called Jiraiya. He still didn't know who this Jiraiya was, but he knew that Namikaze-sensei respected him a lot. He had implanted just a tiny bit of chakra into one of Zabuza's chakra points. With that, he could track down his own chakra and find out where he could find a person. Normally, this technique is used on allies, to easily find them when they're in danger or missing. But it works this way, too. Naruto scratched the back of his head. He could sense his own chakra, which was pretty close, actually. But even if he did, the person might still be dead, or not. Never mind, Kakashi-sensei. I'm just fooling around. The remaining members of Team 7 sighed. Naruto, we need to talk about what you did back there. Sakura, Sasuke, could you both leave the 2 of us here for a short while? Actually, I'm interested as well, Kakashi. The Avenger responded. All of a sudden, this dead last shows techniques I've never seen before. Sakura quickly nodded her agreement. Yeah, I've never even come across things like that in any book I've read. I'm fairly sure I've already read all of the books in the library. So is it a bloodline limit? Sasuke, Sakura. This might be personal for Naruto himself. You 2 are his teammates, but I'm his sensei. I need to be able to teach him and I can't do that if I don't know anything about him. In time, he will tell you. But he will have to tell me now, without you 2 listening in. So please, I'll start training you in a few minutes. Sasuke sighed and turned away. Che, how annoying. Sakura simply followed after him, while shooting one last look of confusion over her shoulder at Naruto, who seemed awfully nervous as Kakashi stared him down. Now, mind telling me how you know Fuinjutsu? Or those other techniques you used? I have the Sharingan and I managed to copy one of your techniques somewhat, this Baoseiken, Oitsumaru no Jutsu. I've never heard of an element called Baoseiken before. Alright, this is what Namikaze-sensei warned me about. Someone asking me questions about how I know what I know. Now, what did he say I had to say again? Naruto thought to himself. Well, I came across a book called Kenpu, Kakashi-sensei. An eye dangerously narrowed. He's lying, there is no such book. And I started reading it. It turns out the book came from the Whirlpool country. Well, there were these techniques in there that were really awesome. All kinds of techniques that helped you protect your friends. I just had to learn them all. That way, I'd become a better Hokage than any ever before, right, Kakashi-sensei? Whirlpool country. A coincidence. Kakashi tried to see past Naruto's nervous smile, but saw no ill intent at all. Naruto's a good guy, definitely. But, he then smiled behind his mask. When we return to Konoha, would you mind showing me this book? Thank you, Namikaze-sensei, Naruto fake pouted. Well, one day after I got back from school I saw my entire room empty, someone stole things from my home. While I was in school. Of course, he's the Kyuubi container and people out there really hate him, I feel sorry for him. Kakashi nodded his head. Sakura was hanging upside down a tree branch, observing her two teammates underneath her. She had completely mastered this tree walking thing and it actually took her almost no chakra. Sasuke-kun, she thought as she stared at the Uchiha spewing fireballs out of his mouth at a random boulder. He's so strong. And he just keeps on getting stronger. Her gaze slightly moved away to see Naruto, simply sitting down on the ground and, is that idiot meditating? That's so impossible. A loud guy like Naruto, meditating. But still, the young Haruno frowned as she had to admit that Naruto was a lot stronger than she thought. He went all alone against that huge sword-wielding guy and didn't get hurt at all. He even helped Kakashi escape, actually. Naruto, I never thought he would be hiding things. Kakashi was instructing Sasuke on how to more effectively use his fire techniques, while he told Sakura to keep on tree walking until she ran out of chakra. The point of this was to increase her chakra amount. Meanwhile, Naruto was communicating with the Kyuubi inside his mind. Foolish human, your future self has shown us our future and I was not in it. Not only have I been confronted with such impossible a fact, you've allowed him to speed up the process by working on the seals. I hold nothing on my own any longer, and now you've come here to gloat. You should feel very lucky I am restricted in movement. My breath alone would have been enough to dispose of you while you're in front of this cage. The blonde little human sighed deeply, before he focused his serious gaze upon the fox demon. You can use the Nijushin, Kyuubi. Pathetic little bug, you obviously do not understand the limits of that technique, nor the requirements or the certain disappointment after its usage. Perhaps, we could do the Futagogakur no Jutsu. Or perhaps even better, the Fushi Tensai. Naruto grinned. What are you here for? Your presence annoys me greatly, Uzumaki Naruto. You act as if you want to release me. It is a task given to me by myself in the future. I have to kill you, not absorb you. I can't kill you in myself, because I would be killing me, too. Dark, mocking laughter echoes all around him. For the first time, you're actually amusing me. You do realize that next to being invincible, I also happen to be quite immortal. You cannot kill me, weak garbage that you are. But fear not, no one can kill me, after all. You've come here to speak of such nonsense in front of me. Get out of here, already. You don't understand. I have to, otherwise, my offspring. A shocking silence came as the Kyuubi fell into realization. Ah, I see. This puts me in a better position than before. Naruto glared at the Kyuubi, as the great fox lord stared down at him with a grin on its face. Tell me, Uzumaki Naruto, what are your future self's plans? He told me to release you and then kill you. With that, his children, no, our children, would live on. My chakra can deal with demonic chakra, but apparently I am the only one in all of existence who can. Not apparently, human. Your chakra had to adapt to mine as soon as I got sealed in you. The reason, a Shinigami never breaks an agreement. The Kyuubi let out with anger. Was your chakra not adapted the way it was now, the Shinigami would have not been able to seal myself inside of you when the Yondaime Hokage made the proposition. You would have died as soon as the sealing had started, was it not for the Shinigami altering your chakra. This way, the Shinigami held his end of the deal perfectly and made himself deserve a fine soul, your father's. The Kyuubi paused to let that piece of information sink into the tiny blonde's head. So, now that your ignorance has slightly decreased, continue telling me of your plans. So, the other Jinchuriki. I know not. I find myself uncaring in how other Biju have been sealed. But my guess is, they haven't been sealed by usage of the Shiki Fuin. So their chakra isn't as special as yours. Now, continue. The fox ordered. I am very interested in how you can make me use the Fushi Tensai. So, do not mention your plans with the Futagogaker, as that will never happen. Fine, the young Uzumaki grumbled out. Since you can't take control of me, as that would mean certain death, well, he told me that other people could come to this place. Other humans. Here, the Kyuubi mused out loud. Perhaps he means the Uchiha, with their accursed eyes, it is possible they can pierce your mind and get to me. He then chuckled, making the grounds shake in fear. How ingenious. I did not expect you, or your future self to think of something so abysmal. Naruto closed his eyes and nodded his head. Yes, he wanted me to lure an Uchiha in here, so you can use the Fushi Tensai on him. Not only that, the Kyuubi added. He thought further ahead with this, and unfortunately, I will not fall for this. Naruto glared. You think I am ignorant, Uzumaki? No other body can handle my demonic chakra but yours. Should I fall for this and actually attempt to take over another body, it will mean my and the Uchiha's immediate death. So, the Kyuubi got cut off and he was not happy about it. Exactly. There's only one option and we both know it, Kyuubi. It's the Futagogaker. HMPH, that will never happen. Be gone, infuriating insect. You've taken too much of my time. The nine-tailed Biju let out with much annoyance in his voice. I would rather let myself get eviscerated by your fuinjutsu like is planned and take your offspring with me, than do this disgusting technique. Returning to land of the living, Naruto found himself under the curious gazes of his team. When you meditate, you sure go far away, Naruto. Kakashi smiled with a frown. I told you, I don't know any Kaden techniques. Those are simply impossible for me to do, alright. What do you want? Naruto yelled. Geez, I never knew this bastard could be this annoying. Sasuke glared, his fists clenched tightly. Naruto, I know you know more than what you've shown us. You are the dead last, yet, you've learned tree walking faster than me. That is very, very unlikely. Tell me what you know. Look, what I know won't do you any good. The same goes the other way around. Besides, what is your chakra affinity, anyway? The blonde screeched, having about enough of Sasuke constantly forcing him to show techniques and whatnot. Sakura was already watching them, but Kakashi actually turned his head up from his Come Come Paradise book and stared at the two as well. Oh, Naruto knows of chakra affinities. Now I'm very sure he hasn't told me everything he knows. But then again, of course he didn't. He walked up to Sakura and put a hand on her shoulder. Sakura, follow me. Naruto has just given us something interesting to talk about. Sasuke's burning, but confused gaze moved from Naruto to the approaching other half of Team 7. HMPH, perhaps Kakashi will tell us something I don't know for a change. Talking about affinities, Naruto. I'd think that's a bit too advanced for a genin to know of, but, perhaps I should just explain. Do you know your affinity, Naruto? Kakashi questioned. After the blonde's nod, the copy nin continued, by giving all three of his students a piece of paper. Affinities, it's actually about which element you control at the moment. It can be fire, electricity, wind, water, and earth. We'll find out about yours when you focus your chakra in that piece of paper. Sasuke's paper crumpled. Ah, Sasuke, your chakra affinity is electricity. The Uchiha frowned at the paper. He actually expected fire. Sakura's actually burned up, making Sasuke's head snap to hers. Obviously, yours is fire, Sakura. All of them turned to Naruto's, but nothing happened to his. Naruto, do you mind focusing chakra in it? The Junin urged. A snort came as response, not what any of them expected. I am. Nothing is happening. Kakashi revealed his Sharingan and watched the piece of paper in Naruto's hands. Indeed, he is channeling chakra in it, but, what is happening? And then, the paper simply ceased to exist. It just vanished. Kakashi's eyes were widened at what he saw with his Sharingan. That was very similar to, but it's impossible. Yet, it happened. Now, Kakashi was seriously suspicious about Naruto, but taking a look at the confused look, the genuinely confused look on the blonde's face, he concluded Naruto didn't have a clue about what had just occurred. Madden? Kakashi questioned. Concealing his Sharingan, Kakashi shrugged. I guess you just burned up your paper, huh, Naruto? Ah, the female of the team uttered. I didn't see it burn. So, Naruto has fire too. The gray-haired teacher rubbed the back of his head. No, that's not what I meant, Sakura. He poured too much chakra in it, so he kinda made the paper all useless. Kakashi lied. Seriously, you're getting ridiculous, Naruto. I'm getting to the bottom of this. As soon as I know how. Sandaime Hokage will surely know what to do. Watching the blonde scratch the back of his head in embarrassment, Sakura rolled her eyes. Such a moron. Was the snort coming from the Avenger? Well, now that we know Sasuke has lightning type affinity and Sakura has fire type, perhaps you should both teach some techniques from that element. Kakashi grinned. Naruto, show them a technique. What? The loudmouth yelled out. I don't know any of those. Just checking, the copy nin thought. Fine, I'll show you. He then walked away from the trio. Tomorrow. Sasuke and Sakura face faulted. Naruto simply chuckled as Kakashi walked away. He sure is lazy, huh? Naruto, you nodded when Kakashi asked you what your chakra affinity was. So, what is it? Sakura asked as she fixed Naruto with a threatening glare. The Kyuubi Jinchuriki grinned at her and at the curious expression on Sasuke's face. I actually know a lot about chakra affinities, Sakura-chan. Someone told me about them. If you go on a date with me, I'll tell you. Shit, he muttered as he found himself on the ground, a red mark on his left cheek. Fine, no date, huh? Well, I ain't telling you nothing unless you and Sasuke go to Ichiraku Ramen with me once we're back in Konoha. Naruto, Sakura slowly started as she gritted her teeth. Want me to hit you really hard now? Hey, it's not that bad, is it? I mean, Sasuke'll be there, too. Right, bastard. Naruto shot a hopeful glance at Sasuke. I won't. He coldly reacted. But he was still glaring at Naruto, as if the glare would give him the answers to his current questions. This time, it was Naruto's time to snort. Then, no deal. Go ask Kakashi. I'm going meditating. Before any of them could grab Naruto, he disappeared, making both his students stare at the spot where the blonde was standing in pure shock. Holy hell. Naruto can do Shunshin no Jutsu. If Sakura had super good sound shinobi-style hearing, she would heard Sasuke grit his teeth in anger. That dead last. How come he knows all these things? He glared at Sakura. Sakura. Ah. What is it, Sasuke-kun? Sakura blushed. This could actually be the first time. No, it was the first time Sasuke initiated a conversation with her. We will go to Ichiraku Ramen with Naruto once we get back to Konoha. Kakashi won't be teaching anything at the moment, so, we're gonna look for Naruto now. He'll tell us more about this thing. His glaring eyes narrowed, actually making Sakura blush harder. Understood. Yes, Sasuke-kun. We'll find that idiot easily. She exclaimed and jumped at the same time. She wanted to hug Sasuke now, actually. Then hurry up, he said as he jumped away in high speed. Sasuke-kun is so cool. That was almost as fast as Shunshin no Jutsu. Sakura stared admiringly at the location Sasuke was just standing. I guess I go look for that idiot now. Excuse me. He was really confused. We're all shinobi from Konoha so stupid as to fall asleep in the middle of nowhere. Haku stared at the blonde with a dubious look on his face. This kid, he actually gave Zabuza-sama some trouble, didn't he? Probably just luck. He smiled in his mind as he saw the seemingly innocent shinobi mediate, leaning against a tree. The blonde didn't look like much at all. More like a brat than a talented ninja. But then, looks can be very deceiving. Haku thought as he remembered how his own opponents often felt the same way about him. Ah, huh. Naruto opened his eyes, only to rub the sleep out of them. Haku blinked and set his basket full of plants and held out his hand to help Naruto up. You'll catch a cold sleeping in a place like this. Naruto took the hand with a smile. People in Wave sure are friendly, huh? Completely not like Konoha, he murmured inside his head. Hee hee. Thanks for waking me up, miss. He then looked at the basket. You collecting weeds or something? Zabuza's apprentice smiled. Oh, these are no weeds, they're special plants. They are actually medicines. They can save lives if used properly. The black-haired boy explained. He's a rookie, genin most likely. Naruto nodded his head. I know completely nothing about that. He admitted. So, what time is it? Around 5 in the morning, I suppose. Why'd you ask? The blonde squinted his eyes, deciding this girl really was friendly, cuter than Sakura-chan, even. Wow, that early. You sure are working early, lady. He's loud for a shinobi. But there's something about him, something deeper. Haku stared right into Naruto's eyes and realized, he couldn't read this kid at all. Interesting, perhaps he's dangerous after all. As are you. What are you doing here so early in the morning? The fake hunter Nin inquired. Training. Meditating. Actually. Meditating. A loud boy like him. Haku chuckled. I see. That must be difficult. Could you be a ninja, by any chance? The Jinchuriki puffed up his chest and laughed. Ah, you can tell, huh? Is sure as hell one. Amazing, huh? So, why are you training? I need to become stronger. Strong enough to become the strongest shinobi in my village. So everyone will acknowledge my strength. The blonde started shouting, much to Haku's surprise. What a very strange shinobi this is. He thought. Are you getting stronger for you, or for someone else? Naruto's eyes suddenly turned serious as he stared at Haku. The black-haired boy felt like he was right now standing in front of someone else completely. I have to get strong. Strong enough so I can protect everyone. At this, Haku's eyes widened. To protect everyone. Haku narrowed his eyes at the anguish in Naruto's eyes. Ah, the first emotion shows itself finally. His anguish could very well eclipse mine completely. This boy is no ordinary kid after all. Amazing. Yes, I have to protect everyone. Because no one else will be able to. I cannot fail this. Such determination. Haku closed his eyes and held his hand out to Naruto. You will become strong. Naruto shook his hand without hesitation. And so, I have met yet another person who's shown me hope like this. Let us meet again somewhere. Haku started walking away, but stopped as he felt 2 chakra signatures appearing beside the blonde kid. He turned and saw his 2 teammates. How silly that I didn't sense it before. That boy has an incredible amount of chakra around him. What was he doing before I found him? Hey, lady, these are my teammates. Ah, nice to meet you. Haku bowed. Also, I am a boy. Naruto face faulted. Sakura didn't believe it at all and Sasuke almost fell down as well from the shock. This guy here, after all, really did look like a girl. What? But you're cuter than Sakura-chan. Naruto screamed inwardly. Dobi, we've agreed on your deal, teach us about chakra affinities now. Sasuke chose to ignore his own confusion regarding the female-like boy. With his back turned to them, Haku narrowed his eyes. Chakra affinities. So, the little kid actually is more than he appears to be. He then smiled. But he is a truly good person. Wait. My name's Uzumaki Naruto, lady. Haku turned and smiled. My name is Haku, nice to. Haku's eyes widened immediately as he saw how Naruto's body language suddenly changed dramatically. Oh, of course. He yelled out my name when his team fought Zabuza-sama. He already knew of me. Was what he thought when he saw Naruto's eyes widen as well. Shit. With that, Haku disappeared immediately. Haku, the blonde's eyes were still widened. So, he was a shinobi. Sasuke frowned. Nice going, dead last. The next day. Alright, team, here's what we'll do. Should we encounter Zabuza and his little hunter Nin again, we'll let Naruto perform his barrier technique. Sasuke, Kakashi semi-glared at the Uchiha. I expect you won't attack your teammate again, this time. It was a shadow clone, Kakashi, what does it matter? Besides, I won't be inside that barrier this time. The black-haired boy responded. Sasuke, you still attacked Naruto. Not only that, but in doing so, you brought our client back in danger. So, to Kakashi's chagrin, Sasuke cut him off. I understand, Kakashi. The young Uchiha muttered. He didn't take well to getting reprimanded at all. What's the matter in destroying a shadow clone or two anyway? It doesn't matter, Kakashi-sensei. The blonde interjected. I've learned how to create an extra barrier around my clones from the inside now as well. So, this time, there will be no breaking the barrier unless I cancel out the technique. He proudly claimed. Actually, getting trapped with Tazuna in that barrier isn't such a bad idea if we come across that sick shinobi again, Sakura deadpanned. So, he learned a way to guard his own clones during the Shishi engine. In this short amount of time. How very unlikely. The copycat found. Anyway, let's get back to training. I'll be fine by tomorrow, so starting tomorrow, we'll all be helping Tazuna-san on the bridge. Naruto snorted. I'll just use Kage Bunshin and finish that bridge on my own. He got smacked from behind by Sakura. Naruto, you'll just destroy the bridge, knowing you. Naruto rubbed the bump on his head and pouted at Sakura. His mind was elsewhere, though. Next time, I'll be facing Zabuza and Haku. This time, I might have to go all out to prevent anyone from dying. When we get back to Konoha, I'm going out on a date with Sasuke-kun. Sakura happily thought as she lay in bed. I'll just tell Naruto to buzz off so we can have some alone time. Sakura stared at the ceiling and frowned at what had happened the last few days. Her blonde dead last teammate was actually teaching them about chakra affinities. So weird, hearing him talk about complex stuff like that. Her eyes suddenly widened. Hey, wait a minute. Naruto never told me what his chakra affinity was. That bastard. Her eyes suddenly moved to the door of her temporary bedroom in Tsunami's house. Tsunami was Tazuna's daughter. She had heard a sound in the hallway and guessed it could either be Sasuke or Naruto, since those two were still out training. She moved to the door and looked through the small opening she created by opening the door slightly. Ah, it's both Sasuke-kun and Naruto. They look horrible. So exhausted. Sasuke-kun looks cool when he's exhausted. She watched as they stopped and stared downwards. Was there something on the ground? Why do you try so hard? The voice came unexpected and she recognized the voice to be Inari's, Tsunami's son. No matter how hard you try, you're still no match for Getu's men. No matter what you do, the strong will always win. Whatever, kid. Sakura's gaze moved from the ground, since Inari's was standing right in front of her door, to Naruto's gaze. What was that? He looked so much different all of a sudden. Was this how Naruto looked like when he was serious? Looking at Sasuke, she noticed he was also looking at Naruto, but with a frown etched upon his face. I'm not like you. The response was faster than immediate, coming from Inari. I'd hate to be like you. You don't know anything about this country, yet you're being so nosy. Sakura then heard it. The little boy was crying. Again looking at Sasuke and Naruto, she noticed that Sasuke was trying to ignore the entire situation, but Naruto was actually helping Sasuke to be able to stand. Wow. Sasuke-kun's really exhausted. She then looked at Naruto, whose gaze was actually, no, he was actually glaring at Inari. She saw. What the hell do you know about me? Inari continued to scream. I'm different from you. You're always smiling, having fun. You don't know how hard life can be. That isn't. Sakura wanted to disagree, but stopped herself. Since when did she defend the dead last? And then she saw the look on Naruto's face. But it's true. Naruto and Sasuke, they both know exactly how harsh life can be, don't they? So, it's okay for you to pose as the star of a tragedy and cry all day. Sakura's eyes widened at how harsh Naruto's voice was. So, unforgiving. Just keep on crying forever, idiot. Sakura watched as Sasuke snapped his head to Naruto, clearly not believing how Naruto was talking to this little kid. Naruto. You little sissy. Sakura opened her door. That's enough, Naruto. She was about ready to punch Naruto out for making the boy cry even more. Sure as hell everyone in the house woke up because of all the noise. Inner Sakura ranted. He fixed Sakura with a glare, something he never gave her, and it felt colder than any glare Sasuke had ever given her. Whatever. He let go of Sasuke and walked away. The Uchiha quickly leaned against the wall for support. Sakura looked at Inari, who was crying all his tears out. Inari-kun, she started. Shut up. Inari screamed, running in the different direction Naruto went. Sakura huffed, but then went to help Sasuke. Don't. I don't need any help, Sakura. Was the response she expected and got, so it didn't really faze her. You didn't understand, so, you had no right stopping this conversation here. She didn't expect him to talk after that, so she froze as she was already close to being back in her bedroom. You don't understand me and you don't understand Naruto either. Stop pretending you do, it's annoying. She listened as Sasuke used the wall to get to his room. She was actually gritting her teeth and glaring at her feet as she closed the door. He's right, I don't understand them at all. But, you forget, they don't understand us either. Inner Sakura raged from within. Sakura nodded her head, determination dancing on her features. You're right, it's time we all got to know each other. It seems I won't be asking Naruto to buzz off when we're back in Konoha, after all. TBC. Ooh, some tension, or none at all. I started this FIC with the intention to see Team 7 in better synchronization and also, to see a young Naruto with Senjutsu and Madden at his disposal. I haven't really decided on a pairing for this FIC yet, but it definitely won't be Yaoi. Maybe Sakura or Ino, perhaps Tayuya or Tamari. I actually want Tayuya, since she looks a lot like Naruto's mother. I just hope Tayuya doesn't turn out to be related to Naruto in the canon. I mean, it turns out Naruto's mom was loudmouthed and full-mouthed, or something. Kinda sounds a lot like Tayuya, but I haven't decided whether this will have romance in it at all. The sounds of birds chirping woke him up from his slumber. He shook his head and noticed the absence of a pillow underneath his head. In fact, his head and neck were hurting. Taking a few seconds to just breathe and do nothing at all but wake up, he took a look at his surroundings and noted he was outside. He could barely see the sky, as it was mostly obscured by trees. The blonde groaned and set himself up in a seated position, rubbing his head in the process, hoping the dull headache would go away quickly. Man, where am I? His eyes were still half closed and he felt like he could sleep a whole lot more, but perhaps checking in with his team would be the smarter idea. Finally decided to wake up, huh? He blinked. He didn't even sense someone. Who was there? Naruto jumped up and got ready to kick some, until he saw, geez, what the hell is wrong with you? You really think I'd let you wake up first if I wanted to kill you? His own shadow clone. Alright, I forgot about you, okay. The real Naruto groaned again. Of course he wouldn't sense his own clone, since it obviously has the same chakra presence. He remembered he told the Bunshin to stand watch. Something his future self told him to always do. Dispel yourself. It might get rid of this headache. The cage Bunshin chuckled. Yeah, well, you have been sleeping on a rock all night. As the clone dispelled itself, Naruto gained some memories about the training yesterday night and grinned. The headache he had was gone faster than he could blink. Oh yeah, new technique mastered. Let's try it out immediately. What's going on here? It didn't take a genius to figure out something was wrong. The unconscious bodies scattered on the unfinished bridge were enough of a clue. Kakashi-sensei, the only female on the bridge, uttered. Exactly at the same time mist surrounded all of them. It seems I was right. The copy nin surmised. Momochi Zabuza is still alive. And he brought his friend along this time. His two teammates and the client, Tazuna, looked up ahead to see two shadows slowly approaching them through the mist. The hunter nin, as expected. Sasuke snarled as he finally spotted the missing nin and his accomplice. Where's the loudmouth? He couldn't make it. Zabuza's voice was as cold as Kakashi and the others remembered it being. I wanted Haku to deal with that nosy brat. Oh well, your other two will do just as fine, I'm sure. So, his name is Haku, if I remember correctly. That's the exact name Naruto called out when we first encountered Zabuza. Did he know Haku was traveling with Zabuza? It could have been mentioned in the bingo records, but it's unlikely Naruto would have any bingo book. Kakashi sighed. I intend to finish things quick this time, Zabuza. Is that so? I take it I'll get to see that Sharingan eye again, huh? The demon of the mist chuckled. Let's do this, then. His Sharingan eye widened as he saw the hunter nin perform one-handed seals. A unique shinobi this one, Haijutsu, Sensatsu Susho. Sasuke easily jumped out of the way of Haku's ice needle attack, while Kakashi was deflecting them with his kunai, at the same time protecting Sakura and Tazuna. You don't have time to protect them, Kakashi. Kakashi spun around rapidly to see Zabuza bring his massive sword down upon Tazuna and Sakura. The sword never hit as another Kakashi appeared behind Zabuza and hit it with a kunai. Zabuza evaporated and water splashed everywhere. Mizu Bunshin. Kakashi murmured. I suppose with his mist around, it's easy for you to create them. Sasuke, in the meantime, had clashed with Haku, kunai met ice needle. You're fast enough to evade my attack. I commend you, came Haku's voice. However, this is as far as you'll go. As Haku made one hand movement, Sasuke heard how the ice needles from the previous attack that were on the ground behind him, all sailed towards him again. Applying chakra to his feet, Sasuke somersaulted away from Haku and over all the ice needles. Ah, quite a talented one we have, here. Indeed. Zabuza had materialized next to Haku again, still wearing the everlasting smirk. Finish things quickly, Haku. I won't be able to do the same in handling Kakashi. I understand, Zabuza-san. Naruto was energetic after trying out a new Fuden jutsu he had been working on for days. Now that it was mastered, he was feeling quite satisfied with himself as he was heading back to Tsunami's house, hoping to catch some big breakfast. As the house came into view, Naruto changed from walking pace to running pace in the blink of an eye. He walked in, fully prepared to take some smart-ass remark from either Sasuke or Kakashi, only to narrow his eyes at the presence of absolutely nobody. Where is everyone? Naruto mumbled softly. He walked into the kitchen and then upstairs, just to realize no one was home. Aw man, I missed breakfast and they all started training without me. Even Tsunami-san and that little brat are gone, che. As he sat on the bed in the room he and the rest of his team had been staying in the last few days, he jumped as he heard the front door was slammed shut and he heard footsteps coming up. Must be Inari, Naruto thought. Perhaps he can. He had already walked towards the stairs only to see Inari crying and, to his surprise, hope, in his eyes as the kid looked at him. Who please? They took my mother. Right then, Naruto's mind clicked. Tell me where. Haijutsu, Makyu Hyusho. When he heard those words 3 minutes ago, he didn't think he would be stepping into a world of pain. He knew he couldn't count on Kakashi, since he was busy with that Zabuza guy. He also realized he couldn't wait for Sakura to suddenly develop some shinobi abilities, so all in all, he was screwed. Where the hell was Naruto, anyway? Your eyes, it seems my technique has helped in you gaining your bloodline limit, the Sharingan. Came Haku's voice from all around him. Even though he could see the masked boy in one of the many ice mirrors around him, that didn't mean he truly was in that mirror. But I'm afraid it's already too late. I'm starting to see his movements. Sasuke thought. I just need to see more so I can strike back. While he was performing this technique, Haku could only move from mirror to mirror, throwing ice needles from any angle. If worst came to worst, he could even throw needles from all angles at the same time. But for this boy, with a fresh Sharingan, Haku hoped he could just strike him at the necessary pressure points. He never did like killing people. But the boy was not cooperating as he was dodging most of his needles. Not too far away from Haku and Sasuke, Kakashi was panting and holding a hand to a big wound to his chest. His Sharingan couldn't see through the thick mist Zabuza had created around all of them. It's been a while since I've been in such a dangerous situation. I hope Sasuke's doing fine. He could still sense the Uchiha and his other subordinate, Sakura, behind him, guarding Tazuna. I guess I'll have to use Kuchiyos to finish things fast. I just hope I'll make it in time for Sasuke. I'll promise you, I will save her. I promise, Inari. Those were the words he yelled to the little boy a few minutes ago. Right now, he was running through the forest, intent on reaching Inari's mother in time. There were 2 of them, Inari said, and they were probably taking her to their boss, Gedu. To do that, they had to continue on water. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Naruto quickly sent his shadow clones in different directions, hoping he would find them quicker. Damn it, me and my stupid head just had to sleep someplace else. And to top it off, continue training after waking up. Stupid. He and his clones were all moving in very high speed. There was no use in holding back any longer. The real deal starts now and he would save everyone. He had to. Just then, a shadow clone had dispelled itself and Naruto knew where they were. But, as he saw the memories of the shadow clone, he realized, Tsunami was probably dead. Shit. Supporting himself by holding both his hands on his knees, Sasuke was panting and looking through only one eye, as he was in great pain. Many ice needles had hit him all over his body, but he managed to avoid getting hit in critical places. But he knew he couldn't hold on for much longer if it continued on like this. Sure, he could now see some of the movements his opponent was making, but it didn't matter. The difference in their skills was too great. Just a fresh genin and his first real mission would already be his demise. His fists clenched. No, he was an Uchiha. He already had the Sharingan. He would continue until he could face Uchiha Itachi. This opponent was nothing compared to his brother. Forcing himself to stand upright again, Sasuke glared at Haku. Oh, it seems like you're still able to move. Came Haku's surprisingly gentle voice. It would be wise to stand down and admit defeat, to avoid more suffering. Accept death as something swift. I won't die. Sasuke replied as both his Sharingan eyes suddenly had 2 tomos. This fight is far from over. Easily this time, Sasuke dodged all the needles as he could see them coming at him before they were even close. Those needles won't touch me again. He let out as he jumped from one spot to the other, using chakra under his feet to move faster. You're not realizing the position you are in. In here, I can hit anything I want whenever I want. Came the counter reply and the needles came faster and grew in numbers. It didn't change the fact that Sasuke was still dodging every single one of them. I see. His eyes have developed so much that hitting him proves too difficult. If that's true, then. Sasuke's eyes widened as all of a sudden every mirror held an image of Haku. I told you, in here, there is no escape. Came the many voices. There's nowhere to run to, for there is a needle waiting for you, everywhere. Sasuke gritted his teeth and gathered chakra as his Sharingan indeed saw ice needles coming from all around him. His Sharingan told him he would get hit, no matter what he did, so, Ghu. It's no use bringing her in like this, Waraji, a young man wearing a black hat mumbled, looking at the woman on the ground. I'm sorry, I felt like cutting something up. Besides, what difference will this woman make, anyway? She was too stubborn to be of any meaning, really. Waraji replied, scratching himself just above the eye patch covering his right eye. Zori sighed as he grabbed the sword hanging by his hip. She's still alive, so we might as well finish things here. He held his sword above the woman, ready to slice her in half, only to blink in surprise as his sword was gone. No longer in his grasp. Waraji's eyes widened as his sword was also gone. You bastards, they both turned their heads to see a blonde kid dropping their swords to the ground. How dare you hurt an innocent woman? Innocent, Zori yelled. She's the daughter of the man who opposes Getu. No one opposes Getu. Waraji was hesitant in calling out. This kid is good, he grabbed our swords without us even seeing it. Not only that, his eyes widened as Zori suddenly dropped to the ground next to him. What? Zori. Staring at the spot where the blonde kid was standing before, he realized he was still standing there. Why did Zori fall? Dropping to his knees, he quickly checked if his companion was still alive. You bastard. What did you do to him? Naruto glared at Waraji. Be glad he isn't dead. He didn't realize anything at all as he was already knocked out from behind. Naruto walked towards the struggling Tsunami on the ground, many sword wounds covering her arms, legs and back. I don't know any medic ninjutsu, so there's only one thing I can do now, I just hope she can handle the motion. He muttered to himself as he crouched down and held one hand on Tsunami's shoulder, while his other hand was performing a seal. Hiraishin no Jutsu. Sasuke. Kakashi wondered out loud as he heard a scream and dropped to his knees as he had finished a sequence of hand seals. He quickly put his hands on the ground and yelled out, Kuchios, Doden, Suiga no Jutsu. It seems your boy is in a lot of pain, Kakashi. He won't survive against a killer like Haku. Zabuza's voice rang throughout the clearing that was covered with mist. Don't underestimate my students. The copy nin responded, watching as his jutsu spread out under the ground. He is an Uchiha, the last of his clan. He won't die so easily. Uchiha. He's an Uchiha, a survivor of that unfortunate clan. No wonder he can last this long against Haku. But it doesn't matter. Haku has never lost with that technique. You're failing as a teacher, Kakashi. It's a Shah. He got cut off as many dogs suddenly erupted from out of the ground and bit Zabuza wherever they could bite him. Shit. The demon of the mist glared as Kakashi appeared in front of him. End of the line, Zabuza. How? My blood. Thanks to the wounds you gave me and the blood on your sword, my dogs were able to catch you through this mist. I've won this battle. Kakashi slightly crouched and performed a few hand seals. Now, let me show you my original technique. Sasuke fell to the ground, completely unable to move any longer. Haku cancelled his jutsu out and slowly walked towards the fallen Avenger. Very skilled indeed, you've managed to avoid getting hit in lethal places, again. But, seeing that there are so many needles, this fight has come to an end. Sasuke managed to look up from the ground and glared at his opponent. He was in too much pain to talk. But you shouldn't feel ashamed. I used my ultimate move against you, the one that allows for no escape. I only use it on my strongest opponents. You should be proud. A genin was able to push me to my limits. Now, should I end your life? Sakura-chan. Tazuna and Sakura both turned around in shock as they suddenly saw Naruto standing behind them. Naruto. What's going on here? Naruto asked as he saw the mist on the bridge. It's a good thing I planted a seal on everyone in the team, he thought to himself. But I can't sense Sasuke. Was I too late? We're under attack. Zabuza and that hunter Nin, they came out of nowhere. Sakura uttered loudly. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Naruto muttered, creating 5 shadow clones. 4 of them surrounded Sakura and Tazuna. Wait here, I'll go help out. You stay with Tazuna, alright. Naruto said as his clones began doing hand seals. He turned around and gave Sakura and Tazuna a confident smile. I'll go save everyone. Sakura felt hope in her chest at that smile, while Tazuna was incredibly relieved. Shishi Engine. 4 clones created the purple barrier around them. 1 shadow clone stayed behind just in case someone tried to come too close to the barrier. Naruto himself performed a single hand seal and focused on Sasuke's position. Hiraishin no Jutsu. Both Sakura and Tazuna saw how Naruto vanished into thin air, leaving only a slight yellow flash behind. Just as Haku sensed a lot of chakra being gathered in the distance, the blonde boy he had encountered in the forest appeared by Sasuke's side out of nowhere. Impossible. I didn't sense him coming. Haku thought. Well, damn, you look like shit, Sasuke. Naruto murmured as he crouched down and patted the Uchiha on the shoulder. Hang on a little longer. Sasuke was already unconscious, though. You're strong, Haku started. But I sense my master is in danger. I cannot fight you right now. Naruto glared at the masked boy and snorted. You think you can just kick my teammates and get away with it? But Haku wasn't listening anymore, already ready to use his full speed to reach Zabuza in time. Naruto blinked as he jumped away. But the blonde was faster, a lot faster. Chidori. Kakashi's eyes widened as a mirror of ice appeared in front of Zabuza and he couldn't stop anymore. He noticed, then, that his hand was being held by something strong. Glancing sideways, he saw that Naruto had stopped his jutsu by grabbing his wrist. Haku had appeared in front of Zabuza within an ice mirror and saw that her life was saved by Naruto. Zabuza was shocked by all of this for a few short moments, until his mind clicked. Using the Chidori and the Sharingan drained Kakashi a lot and the copycat couldn't hold the Doden Suiga no Jutsu any longer. Zabuza was free. Grabbing his sword, he brought it down onwards Haku, Kakashi and Naruto. Kakashi was already thinking of jumping back as the Chidori had died down and Naruto had released his wrist, when Zabuza suddenly stopped. I don't think so. Haku looked up to see Zabuza's sword hovering just inches from his face. What are you thinking, slashing your sword through your comrade like that? Naruto asked in anger as a sword of his own was blocking Zabuza's sword. Zabuza gritted his teeth as he tried to overpower Naruto with his sword. It was starting to work, too. In his struggle, Zabuza let out, Haku would have dodged it, he's too fast to be hit by my sword, in between grunts. What's this sword? Kakashi and Haku jumped back. Kakashi stepped forward only to be stopped by Haku's arm. Wait, the battle is already over. Kakashi looked puzzled, until he heard laughing from behind him. The mist had already dissipated. The copy nin saw how Tazuna and Sakura were surrounded by the Shishi engine, but he also saw a huge army led by a very short man, who was doing the laughing. That must be Getu, then. What's this? The demon of the mist struggling against a kid. How low you've fallen. I've come to take over. You're doing a shitty job, Zabuza. Getu grinned. Now, kill everyone. The short man ordered his army. Zabuza and Naruto stepped away from each other to look dumbly at the approaching group of bandits. Really? Are they serious? People like them facing shinobi like us? Naruto muttered as he unsummoned his sword. Zabuza chuckled. They are. He then walked towards Kakashi. My mission is over, it seems. We no longer need to fight. Zabuza glanced at Haku, glad that the boy was still alive, before grabbing his sword again and grinning like a madman. Let's cut down this army, Haku. Yes, Zabuza-san. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Kakashi looked behind him to see Naruto with many of his shadow clones. I'll help out. He also noticed how the real Naruto and one shadow clone lifted Sasuke up from the ground. I guess I'll help, too. Kakashi muttered. Kage Bunshin. Safe to say, Getu's army stood no chance and Getu met his end by Zabuza's hands. As Zabuza was enjoying himself with a few poor survivors of Getu's pathetic army, Kakashi walked over to Naruto and the unconscious Sasuke. Kakashi-sensei, I have to take him to Konoha. The copy nin sighed and crouched down to check on Sasuke. I know some medic ninjutsu, I'll be able to make sure he's fine, but, you're right, we need to return to Konoha as soon as possible. Kakashi turned his head to see the Shishi engine still active around Sakura and Tazuna. Everything's fine now, you can release them. Tazuna's safe, since Getu's dead now. Sakura and Kakashi brought Sasuke back to Tsunami's house, along with Tazuna, but Naruto stayed behind to talk to Zabuza and Haku, to their surprise. Zabuza-san, Haku-san. I have a favor to ask. A favor? What makes you think you can ask us a favor, kid? Zabuza looked bored as he stared Naruto down. I saved your life, both your lives. Naruto replied as he grinned at Zabuza and Haku. Since I'm going to become Hokage of Konoha, I want you two on my side. Haku looked surprised, while Zabuza chuckled. Kid, you mean you want us to come to Konoha? The blonde shook his head. No, I want to keep in touch. Pouring chakra in the index finger of his right hand, Naruto suddenly pulled out a set of 20 special kunai, all tied with a metal string. He also grabbed a scroll out of one of his pockets. Take these kunai, they can summon me when you throw them. Zabuza's eyes widened. Are you serious? Although he asked the question, the older shinobi could see the look in Naruto's eyes and knew he was. What kind of shinobi are you? He chose to ignore the question and continued. This scroll holds a technique I want the both of you to learn. He threw the scroll at Zabuza while he handed the kunai to Haku. After that, Naruto performed a few hand seals. Kenpu, Baoseiken, Taisatsu no Jutsu. Both his hands were glowing and then he touched both Zabuza and Haku on the shoulders. This technique allows me to always know where you are. It works one way, but this technique is the one that I want you to learn, it's the one that's in the scroll I've given to you. Once the both of you have learned it, I want you to summon me by throwing one of my special kunai. Then, you can use the jutsu on me, too. Simply throwing the kunai will summon you. Haku asked. And this technique, can we trust you? Naruto grinned. I think you know you can. Zabuza sighed. You're a strange kid. What makes you think we won't summon you right into a trap of ours? Because I trust you. This time, both Mist Nin fell silent. Listen, I just know you're trustworthy. In the future, we might need each other's help. So until then, I want you two to survive against the Hunter Nin coming after you. If you ever are in a bind, don't hesitate to summon me. Zabuza opened the scroll. Why do you want us to learn this technique? Naruto shrugged. Trust works both ways. I now know your whereabouts anytime, I want you to know where I am at all times, too. When I'm Hokage, I only want trustworthy people around me. You have some explaining to do, Naruto. Naruto froze in his movements and turned around. He was planning to sneak into Tsunami's hospital room quietly and get back to Wave without anyone noticing, but, the blonde inwardly groaned and bowed his head in greeting. Hokage-sama, according to my resources, it is impossible for you to be in Konoha. But I know you really are Uzumaki Naruto. Explain yourself now. Hiraishin no Jutsu. Naruto sighed. He had to tell the old man everything now. That's impossible. I'm surprised you've even heard of the technique. I was thinking that you could be a shadow clone, but, that isn't it either, is it? Hokage-sama. Naruto bowed again. We have things to discuss. But first, let me bring Tsunami back to her family. You'll see for yourself. He paused as he walked over to Tsunami and touched her shoulder with his right hand, while he performed seals with his left. That I can do the Hiraishin no Jutsu. In truth, he hadn't spoken to his father yet. His future self told him all about Namikaze Minato and how he would appear should Naruto ever lose control of himself and boost up to 8 tails of the Kyuubi. He had no intention of ever losing control, but he did have every intention to have the chance to speak to his father. Someday, he will find a way to get the fourth of that seal inside himself without using a single bit of Kyuubi chakra, someday. Right now, he had lies to tell, convincingly. It seems that when I get angry or emotional, the chakra of the Kyuubi leaks out through the seal and onto me. When I get too angry or too emotional, the amount of chakra coming from the fox is dangerous. So dangerous that it hurts me. It has happened already before, and when it did, the fourth Hokage appeared in front of the gates of the Kyuubi as well. Sarutobi gasped and Jiraiya stepped forward, speaking up for the first time. What did he tell you? Inwardly, Naruto grinned. Outwardly, Naruto sighed. He is my father. He had little time before he faded away. Of course, it was a lingering bunchen of the Yondaime, put into the seal as an addition. He looked up to see Jiraiya nod in understanding. But before he did, he taught me some jutsu, the Rasengan, the Hiraishin. This is unbelievable, the third muttered. Now you know you are the son of the fourth Hokage. And the son of Uzumaki Kushina. The blonde added. I can also summon. Jiraiya's eyes narrowed. What do you summon? Toads and birds of prey. You, how? Jiraiya stuttered. Naruto unrolled his sleeve and revealed markings on his underarm. Your father created that. Actually, his future self did, but Naruto nodded. Yes. A combination fuin of two very advanced fuinjutsu. He called it the Darenritsu of the Gamma and the Moko. I haven't signed the contract yet, so I can't just summon them now without getting killed. Naruto chuckled nervously. At least not in this time, yet. True. Summoning without having signed a contract is lethal to one's own chakra. Next to that, whatever you summoned might kill you for summoning them without permission. Jiraiya gulped. Hey, I guess you're not the fourth son for nothing. I can help you with the toad contract. He started as he pointed at a large scroll hanging on his back. But the birds of prey is a different story. I know nothing about them, to be honest. I'm sure your father didn't, either. All this is possible, Jiraiya. He was the great professor of the shinobi, but Fuinjutsu was an area Jiraiya and the fourth bested him in by far. The Rasengan, the Hiraishin and Kuchio's no jutsu. It is possible for the fourth to have created a bunchen using chakra and pushed it into the Shiki Fuin, yes. It is also possible for a bunchen to teach Naruto jutsu. All this is possible and something my former pupil is very capable of. I believe young Naruto here, Hokage-sama. Sarutobi glanced from Naruto to Jiraiya and back again a few times, before he caved in. Very well, if Kakashi asks you about all of this, tell him it is classified and that he can get the information from me. I want no one else knowing about this, and you can speak to no one about you being the fourth son. Why is that? The blonde asked, frowning. He had wondered about it ever since he had gotten back from the future. The fourth Hokage was a person known in all great countries. He was not a much liked person outside of Konoha. His downfall was hard on Konoha, but, good news, for all other shinobi nations. His power and his skill made Konoha much, much more powerful in many departments in comparison to other nations. If word spreads that he has a son, all, and I truly mean all, shinobi countries will retaliate. I assume most likely correctly that they would do anything in their power to prevent that another shinobi like the fourth will walk the lands again. Naruto snorted in amazement. He really was awesome, huh? Jiraiya chuckled. Yeah, he really was. I believe you're already walking in his footsteps, Naruto. The third spoke. You'll be finding yourself to be quite awesome, as well. I'll surpass him, I'll surpass my father and all other Hokage. Naruto grinned. Jiraiya and the third grinned back. Well, you're dismissed, Naruto. As Naruto walked out of the office, Jiraiya and Sarutobi faced each other. You've noticed. Jiraiya nodded his head. His shinobi outfit, it's covered in numerous advanced fuinjutsu, It's explainable if he somehow made it through instructions given to him by his father's bunshin in the Shikifuin, but it takes many years to create such an outfit. The Hokage nodded his head. Yes, I figured as much. He's not telling us everything. A snort came from Jiraiya. For starters, when did he come face to face with his father? How long has he known the truth? The next day, Team 7 just finished a D-ranked mission, when Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura were walking through the streets of Konoha, heading for the Hokage Tower. Kakashi had been given a rather limited explanation about Naruto's weird actions on the wave mission, but the fact that the aging leader mentioned the Hiraishin no Jutsu was somehow odd. Kakashi had a hard time believing it all, but it would explain a few things. But he received nothing on Naruto's weird outfit, Naruto's Fuinjutsu or the other weird techniques Naruto held in his arsenal. What a boring mission, Naruto suddenly whined. Can't we have more exciting missions like that last one? Exciting, Sakura thought as her mind went back to the mission in Wave. Sasuke got hurt so badly Kakashi-sensei had to carry him all the way back. I was completely useless on the mission, while Naruto protected me and Tazuna. I have to get stronger too, and what happened to Zabuza and that Hunter Nin? We've had a higher ranked mission before, right? Sasuke suddenly spoke up, walking next to Naruto with his hands in his pockets and staring at Kakashi's back. Sakura was walking next to Kakashi, looking at how the Junin was reading a small book. We finished that one, so I don't see why we should still accept these D missions. Your skills are coming along, but your teamwork is lacking. Kakashi replied. The Junin's head suddenly shot up towards the sky as a small bird flew over. Why don't you two teach Sakura something new? I'll hand in the mission report by myself. With that, Kakashi vanished. I'm going training, Sasuke let out as he started walking towards his own home. Wait, Sasuke-kun, Kakashi-sensei said you and I should train together. Sakura started after him. Not today. Sasuke didn't even look back as he continued walking. The blonde left alone grinned at the scene. Hey, Sakura-chan, we could tra huh? He sensed a weird chakra behind him, but only saw two shinobi walking through the same street as them. The weird chakra is similar to mine, but it's not coming from them. His head shot up and pinpointed the chakra coming from a person in the tree above the duo. Sakura had stepped next to him. Shinobi from the sand. What are they doing in Konoha? Sand, Naruto repeated, just now seeing the different signs on their Hittite. One was girl with 4 short blonde pigtails, while the other was a guy with purple paint all over his face. Sure, a weird bunch. He turned to Sakura. Sakura-chan, wanna train? Not today, Naruto. Sakura replied, slowly walking past Naruto and towards the sand nin. State your purpose, she ordered suddenly. Naruto frowned at her, wondering why she would confront these two strangers. As a Konoha shinobi, I have the right to question any foreign shinobi in Konoha. Sakura continued in a stern voice. Are you stupid, girl? The blonde Suna shinobi started. We're here for the Chunin exam, obviously. Aren't you told anything? Never mind this, Tamari. The other Suna nin said. Let's just leave these genin here. But, you're genin, too, right? If you're here for the Chunin exam, Naruto asked as he joined Sakura and stood in front of them. Who are you? That's none of your business, brat. If you participate in the Chunin exam, you might find out. He grinned. I wasn't talking to you, purple head. Naruto said as he pointed past him right into a tree. Who are you? Tamari and Kankuro turned to see Gaara traveling down from a tree using sand. I am Sabaku no Gaara. Kankuro's eyes narrowed as he looked at Naruto in a new light. This kid sensed Gaara while I and Tamari couldn't. He's better than he looks. Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto nodded, at the same time recognizing the name. Ah, I am Sabaku no Tamari and this is Sabaku no Kankuro. Tamari introduced. He's impressive. I'm Haruno Sakura. Sakura finished. So you three are siblings. Obviously. Kankuro sneered at the girl. Let's move. Gaara suddenly ordered, while Naruto noticed Kankuro and Tamari both flinched shortly at his voice. As the Suna trio moved away from them, Naruto faced Sakura. He's strong, that's Sabaku no Gaara. He has almost as much chakra as I have. Sakura simply frowned at Naruto. Sasuke-kun has more chakra than both of you. Shanaru. Unreal. What is it? That boy, the frequency his body is moving in is. It is impossible. Something is wrong. Kin stared down from the tree at the pink-haired girl and the blonde boy. What do you mean, Dosu? He's not standing still, at all. Or is he? Dosu rubbed his ears through his bandages. Those two are teammates of Uchiha Sasuke, right? Our target during this Chunin exam. He whispered. That boy, he said as he stared at Naruto. Something's really wrong with him. My hearing lets me know this much. Zaku snorted. Well, if you're afraid of him, I'll take care of the brat. You be sure to take Sasuke out, then. The bandaged sound Genin simply ignored his teammate and continued staring at Naruto. No, I have a feeling we won't be able to lay a finger on that boy. Hitaki Kakashi was usually a calm and collected type of guy, some might say he gives a whole new meaning to the word nonchalant. He was by most known as the guy who's always late. To see him in a room where all Junin instructors were to meet before anyone else was therefore quite shocking. Kurenai and Asuma glanced at each other as they walked in to see the copy nin seated in one of the few chairs in the room, reading a book titled Ika Ika Paradise. The room was where Anbu squads usually gathered to prepare for high-ranked missions. The Chunin exams were coming up, so most Anbu were stationed in Konoha, so this room would be empty for most of the month. There were few chairs, but many Junin instructors and many other shinobi who were to be part of the Chunin exam as examiners or proctors of some sort were scheduled to meet here. Which meant whoever was early had a chair to sit on. Perhaps that was why Kakashi was so early, Kurenai and Asuma thought. Truthfully, Kakashi was a bit unnerved. The Hokage had told him nothing about Naruto's weird actions on the wave mission, except that it had to with his special powers, and that it was classified. As his instructor, Kakashi did feel he had to know everything about him and his other students. Yes, he would be questioning Naruto on it himself, once he felt it was safe. At the moment, the third really made it obvious it was classified for good reasons. As time passed, many more Junin and Chunin entered the room and in under an hour, the third Hokage had also appeared. We will do this quick, as I have many reports to sign today. The third started, not bothering to explain why everyone was here. He had deemed his subordinates smart enough to skip that. At the moment, we have 16 Genin teams in Konoha. As the Chunin exams is held in our own country, we're allowed to implement 6 teams, rather than 3. If the outcome of this assembly proves that more Genin have been judged adequate enough for the Chunin exam, I will be listing them off. Begin. Meta Guy. I state Team Guy skilled enough, Hokage-sama. Guy half yelled as he bowed before the aging man. As many more Junin spoke of their decisions to the fire leader, the result in the end was exactly 6 Genin teams. What surprised Sarutobi Hiruzen most was that the 3 rookie Genin were nominated as well, this year. Interesting, indeed. The third then motioned seemingly towards nothing, but out of nowhere an Anbu captain appeared. Now, Kira-san will be informing all of you about everything in and around the Chunin exams. The codename Kira was always given to the highest-ranked Anbu commander. Sarutobi walked out as Kira started about how many Genin teams each shinobi nation had sent. Sabaku no Gaara. He would be a very trustworthy ally. With the killing intent he seemed to constantly be releasing around him, he really wondered how. But his future self did tell him something very important. Gaara was just like him, a Jinchuriki. There were many still around and his older self had asked him to locate them all before the Akatsuki got their hands on them. Akatsuki, an organization of mislead members, with an apparently immortal leader. He would have to continue training himself if he wanted to be able to handle an S-ranked missing nin. Yes, before this Chunin exam got off the ground, he would have to face Gaara. From what he could tell, his own siblings even feared him, which made him believe Gaara was more often alone than not. Time to spy on a fellow Jinchuriki. Well, so far, he's the only one that seems better than average. But I wouldn't worry too much about him, he's probably still no match for the average Suna genin. And his name was Uzumaki Naruto, though I'm not sure if he's participating. Kankuro reported as he had scanned Konoha all day along with Tamari. Don't bother grilling Tamari either. She's already stated she doesn't expect too much competition in this exam. Konoha is famous for its clans, Kankuro. Especially the Hyuga and the Uchiha, although the latter only has one member. I'm sure Konoha will send their finest to show off in this exam. Kankuro's Junin instructor, Baki, warned. Every nation knows about the lone survivor of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Sasuke. If that brat is in the Chunin exams, be sure he doesn't get in the way. The puppeteer snorted. No Konoha genin can beat a Suna genin, Baki. We both know that much. He wouldn't admit it to anyone, but he was quite pleased with the genin team he was given to work with. At first he was horribly disappointed to find a fangirl and a dead last in his team, but both proved to be better than he originally had guessed. Slightly better. Haruno Sakura was an annoying banshee whose only skill was yelling out his name. Although she wasn't that skilled in doing that, if he really thought about it. But she had improved. With her chakra affinity now known, she at least had some ninjutsu in her repertoire. But he did find it annoying that she came bugging him about fire techniques. After some time, he finally found out that Naruto's affinity was wind. If Kakashi knew, he sure didn't say anything about it, and he was sure Sakura was oblivious to anything and anyone but him, so she obviously didn't know. He had scowled when he once spotted Naruto training and realized his Sharingan couldn't copy Naruto's Fudenjutsu. He was also very sure Naruto knew he was there at that time, too. Yes, he had admitted to himself that Naruto was a formidable shinobi. He had already proven that he was on a higher level than Aburame Shino and Inuzuka Kiba, in his eyes. He was curious to find out how long it would take to defeat Naruto in a fight. Would it be seconds or minutes, he wondered. This Chunin exam would be a good test to see how far he had gotten. His fight against that weird fake hunter Nin was rather disappointing, as he had quite evidently lost that battle. But at least that fight had made his Sharingan stronger. He could see a lot more now. As far as he knew, Naruto had Fudenjutsu and barrier-type techniques. He also had that Kage Bunshin. The warning Kakashi gave him still rang in his mind. Don't copy the technique, Sasuke. Naruto is an exception, but even Junin have trouble controlling the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu and usually don't use that chakra draining technique. He received no clarification about the warning. He wondered if Naruto had so much chakra, then. Kakashi had already taught him a new jutsu, one that was very powerful, the Chidori. With his Sharingan this far developed and his arsenal of lightning-based jutsu expanding, Kakashi thought it'd be helpful. Sasuke smirked. Helpful, indeed. Konohagakure no Sato, so different than Sunagakure. People didn't look at him in fear, for a few seconds at least. It seemed it was inevitable that others would always be afraid of him. It was a good thing. In Suna, sandstorms were somewhat common, but in the Leaf there was none of that. It seemed rather peaceful, but that admittance was quickly squashed as he continued to walk through the streets. Such thoughts were quite unbecoming for a person like himself. Besides, once given the signal, he had permission to obliterate this entire village. His siblings were moving in and around all of Konoha, trying to be helpful to their own country, while in truth they were nothing. Barely pawns, even. Sabaku no Gaara. The red-haired Suna Nin merely glanced over his shoulder to see who had called his name. Until given the signal, he was to do as little as possible, meaning, he was supposed to kill as few people as possible. Gaara frowned, however, as he saw the blonde Konoha genin behind him. I remember you, Uzumaki Naruto. I've come to talk to you. The Kyuubi Jinchuriki started. Talk. We've nothing to talk about. We will battle, if you are in the Chunin exams. Was Gaara's response. I don't know yet. But I do know something about you, Gaara. Naruto grinned at the skeptic frown on Gaara's face. You should know, you and I are very much alike. Enough with this nonsense. You are annoying me. If you will not leave, I will be forced to kill you. So, the Sand Shinobi got cut off. You have a demon inside of you. With those words, Gaara's eyes had widened. Just like me. Gaara's hands clenched into fists, his anger growing. Just like you. With his patience run out, Gaara's intent to kill the brat in front of him rose and he already had the blonde caught in his sand. Die. Sabaku Q. Using his chakra, he made a huge hand of nothing but sand grab onto Naruto and squeezed him to death. Sabaku Su. Seeing no blood anywhere, Gaara undid his technique and saw, to his slight surprise, no body parts. I see. You're faster than I thought. It's not speed that prevented my death. Came Naruto's voice from behind Gaara. I am a clone. Gaara's eyes widened as he saw several other clones of Naruto around him. What? Real bodies? What jutsu is this? It is Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Don't bother trying to see which one is the real me, because I'm still hiding myself. The blonde shook his head at Gaara's rage. Thanks to you, other shinobi are already on their way to investigate on the chakra release here. Gaara growled a bit, hesitating on if he should attack all these clones and kill the real Naruto or just stand still and listen. We need to talk. We are both Jinchuriki, we can understand each other better than anyone. I'm not sure if you have questions, but I sure do. Unfortunately we can't talk here and not now. With that, Naruto dispelled all his clones and left Gaara to himself. The Shukaku Jinchuriki snorted at all the smoke around him and continued walking through the abandoned street. An ambush squad had just arrived on top of a roof overlooking the same street but saw nothing but smoke in the Suna Genin. Questions. Gaara repeated in his own head. Interesting. Konoha is turning out to be more interesting than I expected. After their Junin had informed them they were nominated for the Chunin exams and it was up to them whether to take it or not, Sakura watched Sasuke walk away with an unsure expression swimming on her face. She was sure Sasuke was going to take it, and, as she looked at Naruto, who was reading the scroll in his hands, with Kakashi standing next to him reading his small book, she was also sure Naruto was going to take it as well. What about her? Was she ready for this Chunin exam? Were her skills above Genin rank? Had she garnered enough experience through missions? If she thought about it, she was pretty sure that Sasuke was above Genin and, though she was hating to admit it, even Naruto had shown skills that were above Genin level. Heck, the Kage Bunshin was a Junin level technique. Sakura-chan, you alright? Sakura whipped her gaze from the ground to the worried-looking Naruto and gave a short, nervous laugh. Of course I'm alright, Naruto. Are you stupid? Naruto simply frowned at her and even Kakashi momentarily looked away from his Ika dose. Well, it's just that, you didn't ask Sasuke out and, you were kinda, mumbling to yourself. Sakura stared. I'm not kidding. Naruto quickly yelled, afraid. It was just weird, that's all. Sakura. Came Kakashi's voice. It's up to you to decide if you're ready for the Chunin exams or not. He pointedly glanced at the forms in Sakura's hands. I only gave you the application forms, nothing else. The blonde in between them glanced back and forth. So, Sakura-chan, you wanna train? Sakura suddenly smiled at Kakashi and then turned to Naruto. Yes. Just a minute. I need to talk to Naruto in private. Kakashi held up his hand. It won't take too long, Sakura. She watched her Junin instructor and teammate walk away and sat down on the ground. She never, though, imagined that she would be training with Naruto, of all people, to see if she was a talented shinobi or not. But the truth was, she viewed Naruto as the only one who was close to Sasuke's level. Even Kiba, who was second best in class, seemed inferior. Weird. Since when did she regard Naruto in such high lights? So, I'm sure you already know what I want to talk about, Naruto. The copy ninja started. We haven't had the chance to really talk about the mission in Wave. You never told me what happened and what techniques you used. The only information given to me by Hokage-sama was that you used the Hiraishin no Jutsu. Yeah, I know the Hiraishin no Jutsu. I've learned it in the same way I've learned the Shishi engine, Kakashi-sensei. The blonde stated. But I can't tell you more than that. Hokage-sama told me not to say anything else as it is. Classified. Yes. Kakashi finished. I want you to know, though, the meaning of a team, especially one like ours. We need to trust each other completely. You, me, Sakura and Sasuke. If we want to work as a team, we need to know all about each other. As your teacher, I need to know what you can do, about everything that you can do. I know, Kakashi-sensei. I will tell you everything. Just, not yet. Naruto nodded. I will tell you this, my affinity is wind. Yes, that I already knew. I'm more observant than you think, Naruto. Kakashi then glanced away from Naruto the waiting Sakura. Anyway, Sakura needs some confidence. I think you can give it to her. The Jinchuriki looked puzzled. How? Train with her. But, don't hold back. Show her where she stands and then, teach her. In her eyes, you've grown immensely. She'll believe she can do the same. Kakashi explained. If you ask me, she's good enough already for this Chunin exam. But a little boost won't hurt anyone. You know Fuinjutsu, right? Her affinity is fire. Can you figure something out? Naruto was already grinning. So, you've learned the Kaden, Gukaku no Jutsu, huh? Naruto was chatting away as he and Sakura were walking towards a random training field. So that means that stuck-up bastard taught you something, right? Sakura fixed the blonde with a powerful glare. Naruto. Don't call Sasuke-kun a bastard. She then paused, looked away from Naruto and sighed. But it wasn't Sasuke-kun who taught me. Kakashi-sensei did. Huh, but that means he took that mask of his off for you. The pink-haired genin shook her head. No, he didn't. He just showed me the seals and told me how to use the chakra. I was actually waiting for it too, at the time. Naruto seemed lost in thought as he thought about the technique Sasuke was so good at. Doesn't it hurt? Breathing out fire. Normally, yeah, but Kakashi-sensei told me my chakra control was really good. He said I used the perfect amount of chakra so no harm comes to me when I breath the fire out. Sakura explained. Whoa, you're awesome, Sakura-chan. I want you to use your fire technique against me. He yelled out loud as they finally reached one of Konoha's training grounds. The young Haruno stopped walking and stared at Naruto's back. Nay, Naruto, what is your chakra affinity? He slightly turned his head over his shoulder and smiled at her. You don't know. Mine is wind. So, let's see what happens when we use fire and wind against each other. Overcoming the shock from learning Naruto had the wind affinity, she quickly admonished. Are you stupid? Your wind jutsu would simply make my fire jutsu stronger. Naruto frowned. We'll see about that. Sakura frowned back and then shook her head. Fine, I'll show you. Scene break. Kaden. Gukaku no Jutsu. Fuden. Renkuden. As expected, Sakura's fire-breathing technique overpowered Naruto's wind-breathing technique, resulting in a large stream of fire heading straight for the blonde. Sakura's eyes widened as her fire breath turned massive fire blast enveloped Naruto completely and quickly ran to her teammate's location. Naruto. As the smoke cleared away, she could see Naruto in the center of a small crater, completely unharmed. No worries, Sakura-chan. You were right. Wind is really useless against fire. How can you be completely fine? You sound disappointed. Naruto pouted. Oh, of course not. I was worried sick. Well, I have a secret technique. Haijutsu. Naruto grinned, feeling smug. I turned your advantage into my advantage. Are you going to explain it? Sakura grinded her teeth at Naruto, who seemed to shine in his own confidence. Ah, Sakura-chan. The best secrets are the ones never told. He then watched Sakura with a critical eye. How come you look so tired? The Gukakyu no Jutsu, it takes a lot of chakra. I can only perform one. So, it's kind of a last resort technique for me. Sakura elaborated. But, Kakashi-sensei said that Genin normally can't perform this technique. But, Sasuke's Gukakyu no Jutsu was lot more powerful than Sakura's, wasn't it? Naruto thought. Well, you need to train so you can at least use 3 of those jutsu in a row. 3. Are you crazy? I don't have as much chakra inside me, Naruto. Well, then let's get you some more. Both Genin suddenly turned around at the arrival of a very tall individual. Jiraiya-sama, Naruto let out, surprised. Jiraiya-sama, Sakura repeated. One of the legendary Sannin. Yup. That's me. I was watching you two and I'll offer you some training. You two up for it? Jiraiya grinned. He nodded once to the big scroll strapped on his back as he stared at Naruto. TBC. New techniques. Kenpu. Rengoken, Hyuka no Jutsu, Fire Absorption. Kenpu. Rengoken, Kyufu no Jutsu, Wind Absorption. Kenpu. Rengoken, Kyudo no Jutsu, Earth Absorption. Kenpu. Rengoken, Kyurei no Jutsu, Lightning Electricity Absorption. I've also noticed that I misspelled 2 jutsu in Chapter 2. Kenpu. Rengoken, Kyusui no Jutsu, Water Absorption. Kenpu. Rengoken, Kyuan no Jutsu, Sound Absorption. The Rengoken element under the Kenpu style. This element stands for union. It doesn't matter which elemental affinity the user has, as the technique absorbs the chakra that is used for the technique performed by the opponent. Besides elemental absorption, this element also allows for follow-up fusions of gathered chakra, though the follow-up fusion jutsu is to be performed immediately after one or more absorptions. The downside for the Rengoken element is the high risk of failure. Even the slightest hint of a different element in the absorption could mean serious injury. P.S. Naruto used the Kyuka no Jutsu while taking Sakura's Gukakyu. His own wind-natured chakra was completely overtaken by fire, as this happens during collision of these two elements.